What's the point of speaking if your words leave no mark? What's the point of thinking if your thoughts tie you up instead of setting you free? Some people can stop the world with just one sentence. They weren't born different. They just learned to master what you ignore, their mind, their emotions, their actions. And while you hesitate, they move forward. How much longer will you stay behind? In this video, you're going to discover the 10 Stoic keys that will teach you to speak with purpose, think with clarity, and act with determination. Keys that will help you take back control of yourself. Because real power isn't out there. It's within you. It's not about luck or talent. It's about building the inner discipline that turns an ordinary person into someone unstoppable. These aren't empty theories. They're principles used by great leaders and philosophers to stay grounded in the middle of chaos. If you apply them, you'll stop being a spectator in your own life and become the main character. Are you ready to start mastering yourself from within? Before we begin, let me tell you the story of someone who carried a broken voice for years, a mind full of noise, and hands paralyzed by fear. His name is Elias, and his life changed the moment he realized he wasn't weak. He was just full of wounds he never dared to face. Elias worked as a receptionist in an office building. No one really noticed him, and he liked it that way. He didn't stand out. He didn't share his opinions. And when he spoke, it was barely above a whisper, like he was asking for permission. Every word felt heavy. Every glance made him uneasy. Deep down, he felt something was blocking him, but he couldn't name it. For years, he thought he was just shy, introverted, quiet, until one afternoon, as he watched a father yelling at his child at the building's entrance, something inside him broke. And suddenly, everything made sense. His silence wasn't shyness, it was trauma. As a child, Elias grew up in a home where every word felt like a threat. If he spoke too much, he got yelled at. If he had his own opinion, he was punished. His father used to say, "Children speak when they're spoken to." And by obeying, Elias stopped speaking, and worse, stopped thinking for himself. Years later, as an adult, no one was yelling at him. No one was punishing him. But the broken voice was still there. The mental noise, the paralysis, the urge to do something meaningful, without knowing how to start. It was like he was still trapped in a cage that no longer existed, but whose bars he still felt pressing against his skin. One ordinary afternoon, he found an old, coverless book left behind in the break room. The only thing he could make out was a sentence underlined in the margin. It said, "If it's not true, don't say it. If it's not just, don't do it." It was signed by Marcus Aurelius. And that phrase, simple yet sharp, hit him like a silent slap. Because Elias had spent his whole life keeping quiet about what was true, and doing what others told him, even when it wasn't fair to himself. For weeks he read that book during his breaks. He learned he wasn't broken, that he didn't need to be eloquent to make an impact, that he could think clearly, even in the face of fear, and that acting with power wasn't about overpowering others. It was about finally refusing to let the past make decisions for him. He started speaking less, but with purpose. He listened more, trained his mind in silence, and one day someone told him, "You don't say much, but when you do, it hits home." Later, he was invited to speak at a small gathering, then another. Without trying, he started to influence. Because once you find your voice, you don't need to shout to be heard. And Elias, the boy who was silenced by fear, now spoke with purpose, because he had learned to think clearly and act with power. And here's the most powerful part. He never left that building. He didn't change jobs. He changed himself. Because he was no longer the scared child who only spoke when allowed. He was the man who, after mastering his mind, began to master his life. Now that you know his story, tell me this. How much of Elias is in you? How many times have you stayed silent out of fear? How many of your decisions has your past made for you? If you're ready to take back your voice, your clarity, and your power, stay with us. Because this isn't just another video. It's a declaration of war against the version of yourself you no longer want to be. Let's begin. Before we continue, if this content is bringing you value, consider subscribing and becoming an exclusive member to access unique benefits. And tell us in the comments, what decision are you going to make today to think more clearly, speak with more intention, or act with more power, or simply write, "I am a Stoic. From today on, I let my mind clear, my voice strengthen, and my actions speak for me." That will be your commitment to yourself. 1. Feed yourself what makes you wiser. Tell me something, my friend. Do you really want to speak clearly, think with focus, and make strong decisions? Then why do you spend your day watching dog videos, pointless debates, and celebrity gossip? Do you really think someone can build a powerful mind by feeding it nothing but noise? Of course not, and you know it. But still, every time you have 5 free minutes, you open your phone and dive into that spiral that drains your energy, your presence, and your vision. And then you wonder why it's so hard to speak with conviction, make confident decisions, or simply think clearly when life gets tough. Let me put it like this. You can't cook a flavorful dish with expired or low-quality ingredients. Your mind works the same way. If all you consume is shallow entertainment, memes, internet drama, and empty quotes, what do you expect to come out when it's time to say something meaningful, make a decision, or act with purpose? Maybe this has happened to you before. You try to give advice to a friend who's going through something, and all that comes out is some recycled phrase from Instagram, something like, "Everything happens for a reason," or "The universe has a plan." And right then you can feel it. It sounds empty, doesn't it? Like you're repeating something you don't even fully believe yourself. Or you're in a deep conversation, and just when you want to contribute something powerful, all you've got is a surface-level comment, and you realize there's nothing solid inside, nothing that's really your own, just scattered ideas from others. Imagine Marcus Aurelius looking at your YouTube history, another hour of TikTok fails, and you wonder why you have nothing to say in a serious discussion. It's not that there's anything wrong with unwinding now and then, but when the superficial takes up more space than the essential, you start to feel the consequences. You can't think clearly, you don't know what to say, you don't even know why you're doing what you're doing. Epictetus said, "No man can learn what he thinks he already knows." And Ryan Holiday, author of Ego is the Enemy and the Obstacle is the Way, explains it perfectly. Feeding your mind is like training your body. If you eat junk, you feel slow, weak, low on energy. The same thing happens with your thinking. It's not magic, it's mental nutrition. So if you really want to speak with intention, think with focus, and act with power. Ask yourself, are you feeding your mind like someone who wants to grow, or like someone who just wants to be distracted? It's time to transform your mind. The first step might not be easy, but I know you can do it. Create a mental diet. Just like you take a break from sugar or alcohol, you can take a break from digital noise. Choose 1 day a week to unplug from social media and instead listen to a good podcast, read a few pages from a challenging book, or watch a talk that really makes you think. You wouldn't believe how much your energy shifts when you do this. Also, every night, write down one valuable idea you learned that day, just one, but one that you can explain. This trains your mind to observe and filter what really matters. After a month, you'll have an arsenal of ideas that actually build you from within. Because I'm going to tell you the truth, plain and simple. You can't speak with purpose if you have nothing valuable inside. You can't think clearly if your mind is overloaded with noise. And you definitely can't act with power if what's inside you is weak, vague, or borrowed. So next time you open your phone, ask yourself this question like a mantra. Is this building me, or is it draining me? Because only when you feed yourself with wisdom will your mind begin to think clearly, your voice start to sound firm, and your actions finally begin to change your life. 2. Silence the noise that dims your power. Picture this. You're at your desk trying to finish a report for your boss. The deadline is today. You sit down, take a breath, open the document, and there's a dirty mug on the table, your phone vibrates, someone walks by talking loudly, You check your email and see 5 urgent messages. You suddenly remember you didn't buy what you need for dinner. And to top it off, it's hot. How are you not supposed to freeze up? That's not a space for thinking. It's a trap for losing yourself. And the truth is, it's not just the external chaos. It's what we carry inside. The information overload, the unresolved conversations, the apps running in the background, the comparisons that sneak in when you're not looking. Your mind right now is like an old computer. You double-click, try to open 2 tabs, and it crashes. That's exactly what's happening to you. And meanwhile, life keeps moving, and you're standing still, without direction. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." And do you know what he did? He didn't live chasing other people's approval. He pulled back, observed, spoke little. He preferred to seem strange rather than lose his center, because he knew that if your mind isn't calm, everything you do will be a reaction, not a decision. And you can start today, if you're truly ready to think clearly and act with strength. How? With simple but powerful things. First, try the monk hour. Don't worry, you don't have to head for the mountains. It's just 1 hour a day. No phone, no talking, no music, no distractions. Just you and your thoughts. You can walk, sit in silence, write, stare out the window, doesn't matter. What matters is that you shut off the external noise so you can start hearing what's going on inside. It's tough at first, but soon it becomes a refuge. Second, take inspiration from something Cal Newport, author of Deep Work, talks about. He calls it deep work, and it's not just theory. It's about creating blocks of time where you completely eliminate distractions. Leave your phone in another room. Close every browser tab except the one you need. Set a 30-minute timer and just do that one thing. Just that. You can call it your power block, 1 per day. That alone will start training your mind to stop living in a scattered state. And if you're still not sure what you can gain from silencing the noise, listen to the story of Rich Roll. He was a lawyer, a father, and unfortunately, he fell into addiction. You'd think that was the end, that he'd stay stuck, but he made it out. And do you know how that change started? It wasn't with big goals or motivational speeches. It started with silence. Rich decided to step away for a few days. No people, no phones, no social media. Just him, nature, a notebook, and his mind. At first, it was unbearable. He didn't know what to do with all that space, all that inner noise. But slowly, that silence started to reorganize him from the inside out. He began to think more clearly, to remember who he was and where he wanted to go. He came back a different man, and from there, he began building a completely new life. Today, he's one of the most influential voices in health and personal growth. But it all started with something as simple as disconnecting from the world to reconnect with himself. I know, you're not an athlete and you don't need to escape to some remote cabin. You know what you do need? A moment to listen to yourself without noise. And I'll be blunt. You can't speak with purpose if your words come from a saturated mind. You can't think clearly if you spend the entire day absorbing noise from the outside. And you definitely can't act with power if every little thing around you is stealing your focus. So, my friend, tell us in the comments, what are you going to do to shut out the noise around you and start truly listening to yourself? Because in that silence you keep avoiding, that's where the power you've been looking for is hiding. 3. Organize your thoughts before you act. Picture an elite team of soldiers inside a helicopter, seconds away from jumping. The wind crashes against the open door. The blades thunder in their ears. The mission is on. They're trained, prepared, armed. But right before they leap into the unknown, they don't shout, they don't rush, there's no panic. What they do is stop, breathe, visualize, in silence. Each one mentally goes through every step, because they know that if they jump with a chaotic mind, the body won't respond. And in their world, a mistake doesn't mean I'll try again tomorrow. It comes with a cost. This isn't a movie scene, it's real. Admiral William H. McRaven, one of the most respected leaders in special operations, tells it just like that. He used to say that a seal who hasn't organized his thoughts before acting is a seal who can blow the entire mission. So let me ask you this: if they, in life or death situations, don't allow themselves to act without mental clarity, why should you? Mental clarity doesn't come from thinking more. It comes from thinking better. It's useless to have a head full of ideas if none of them are clear. A scattered mind is like an orchestra with no conductor. You can have the best musicians, the best instruments, but if the one leading is lost, all you'll hear is noise. Epictetus said it plainly. It's not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them. That phrase may seem simple, but it's a key, because if you learn to examine your thoughts, if you can filter your judgments, you can completely change how you respond to life. And do you know how he did it? He wrote. He looked at every thought as if it wasn't his. He analyzed it. He didn't trust his first impression. That's what kept him in control. Now imagine this, my friend. You've had an idea circling your mind for a while. A dream, a project, something that excites you, and you finally decide to go for it. You make plans, get things ready, but when the moment comes, you don't know where to start. You hesitate. You change your mind. You freeze. Has it happened to you? I'm sure it has. And it's not because you lack talent, it's because your thoughts aren't aligned. And when your mind is confused, your actions get blocked. That's why, if you truly want to act with power and confidence, you need to train something most people never do: mental order. Here are 3 steps that can help. First, every time a negative thought hits you, ask yourself this: is this a fact or just an assumption? It might sound silly, but most of our worries come from things we believe without evidence. And when you write them down or say them out loud, you realize how weak they actually are. Second, do a daily mental check. Take 3 minutes at night to jot down the thoughts, emotions, or ideas that came up the most during the day. That's it. You don't even have to analyze them right then. But if you do it for a week, you'll start to see patterns. And once you see them, you can start to change them. Third, before making an important decision, don't jump in blindly. Do this. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask yourself 3 key questions. 1. What exactly am I feeling right now? 2. What part of this is a fact and what part is just my own assumption? 3. What outcome am I really looking for with this decision? It won't take you more than a minute. But that minute could be the difference between moving forward with confidence or falling back into reaction mode. Because many times it's not that we make bad decisions, it's that we make them from a place of chaos, from unchecked emotion, from scattered thoughts that pull us instead of guide us. And remember this: emotions without examination are like horses without a rider. They can take you far, but you won't know where. And if what you want is to act with power, then you'd better be the one holding the reins. 4. Stop living like you're still the same person you were yesterday. My friend, let me ask you something. Do you still believe you're bad at public speaking because of one presentation that went badly 5 years ago? Do you think you can't make good decisions because you messed up once and someone made you feel terrible about it for months? But what if you're no longer that person? What if the only thing tying you to that weaker, wounded version of yourself is the fact that you still believe you live there? So often, we don't move forward because we're still walking in the shoes of a self that no longer exists. You carry around old ideas about who you are, things that might have once been true, sure, but now only hold you back. Like that voice in your head that says, "I've always been really insecure," or "I'm not the type who speaks up." And the real issue isn't just that you believe it. The issue is that you repeat it every day, like it's your personal motto. Nature can explain this better than I can. If a snake doesn't shed its skin, it suffocates under its own growth. You know why? Because its body keeps growing, but the old skin stays stuck, squeezing, choking. The same thing happens to you when you cling to an outdated identity. If you don't let go of who you were, you end up stuck inside. And a stuck mind can't shine, can't speak with clarity, can't act with power. Joe Dispenza, a neuroscientist who spent years studying the mind-body connection, explains something that might open your eyes. He talks about how the body becomes so used to an emotion, like fear or insecurity, that it starts to repeat it on autopilot, even after your situation has changed. He calls it an addiction to the old self. For example, someone who spent years feeling invisible might improve, grow, succeed, but their body still reacts the same when they walk into a room full of people. They look down, shrink, as if their body hasn't gotten the message that it no longer has to hide. But it can change. You just have to decide that the old version of you no longer gets to run the show. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Each day tell yourself, today I will face intrusion, ingratitude, arrogance." But what's most impressive isn't that he recognized those things. It's that he still chose, day after day, who he wanted to be. He didn't let the outside world or his past define him. So now I'll ask you, do you want to be like him? Or do you want to keep living as the automatic version you've been dragging along for years? I know you'll choose the first one. So here are a few ideas to help you shift the way you see and speak to yourself. Make a list of outdated beliefs. Write it down, on paper or on your phone. I'm no longer someone who needs approval to feel valid. I'm no longer the one who stays quiet in meetings. It doesn't matter if you don't fully believe it yet. Write from the version of you that you want to become, not the one you used to be. Every morning when you look in the mirror, ask yourself, what part of me needs to die today so something better can be born? Maybe it's the need to please, the fear of failure, or the habit of hiding what you really think. And start talking about yourself in the present tense. Instead of saying, "I've always been bad at this," say, "I'm learning to get better at this." The language you use to describe yourself shapes your identity more than you think. Stop describing yourself as if you are your past, because you're not. If you truly want to think clearly and act with strength, you can't keep living with your mind tied to an outdated version of who you are. Your power lies in what you choose today, not in what went wrong yesterday. Tell us in the comments, what part of you are you ready to leave behind so you can start speaking with purpose, thinking clearly, and acting with power? That decision might just be the beginning of your new life. 5. Surround yourself with energy that amplifies your voice. I'm going to tell you something you probably didn't expect to hear today. You are a flower. Yeah, I know, it sounds weird, but hear me out. You could be the best seed with the brightest colors and the strongest roots, but if you're planted in dry soil, without light or water, you won't bloom. You're surrounded by shade when what you really need is sun. And that, my friend, is exactly what happens when you share your life with people who dim your light, drain your energy, or outright sabotage every attempt you make to move forward. Epictetus said it clearly, almost like he was speaking to you directly. Avoid the company of those who are always complaining. Because yes, constant complaining is contagious. And if you surround yourself with people who only see problems, sooner or later, you'll start seeing them too, even if they don't exist. You fill up with doubt, you shrink, you start speaking softer, second-guessing every move, like you need someone's permission just to be yourself. There's a quote from Tom Bilyeu, founder of Impact Theory, that's worth keeping front and center in your life. Your environment programs you. Either you choose it or someone else will choose it for you. And he's absolutely right. He talks about building what he calls an anti-fragile environment. It's not just about surrounding yourself with people who cheer you on. It's about being with those who challenge you. People who aren't afraid when you fall, who won't let you stay down, who push you to learn and grow. And that can be the difference between continuing to rise or staying stuck in the most comfortable, dimmed-down version of yourself. Now picture this. You decide to sign up for singing lessons. Not because you want to be famous, but because it excites you, because it connects you to yourself. You're pumped, you make the time, you go to your first class, and you leave glowing. That night, you tell your family or friends about it. One makes fun of you, another says it's a waste of time, and someone else just shrugs it off. And without realizing it, you start thinking, maybe they're right. A month later, you quit. not because it wasn't worth it. You quit because your environment drained your drive. If you're in a situation like that, what can you do? Start with a social audit like an inspector on a mission. Grab a notebook or just open your phone and ask yourself, who makes me feel more alive after a conversation, and who leaves me drained, confused, or insecure? Don't let habit fool you. Be honest. Sometimes the person who dims your light the most is the one closest to you. You need to see that to start changing it. Then, make a simple trade. Swap 1 hour with someone who pulls you down for 1 hour with something that lifts you up. If you can't avoid seeing that person, at least balance it out. Listen to an inspiring podcast, something that gives you new ideas, that reminds you of who you want to be. There are thousands out there. You just have to look, and above all, dare to be the weird one in your group. The one who puts the phone down to read, the one who doesn't gossip, the one who takes care of themselves. Because so often, that thing that makes you different is exactly what will pull you out of average. If you truly want to transform your life from the inside out, you need to surround yourself with people, ideas, and energy that light you up, that help you think clearly, and that push you to act with intention. Because no one builds a meaningful life in an environment that drains their soul. It's your call. 6. Train your mind like a muscle. Many, many years ago, high on a hill in Japan, lived a samurai master whom everyone sought for guidance. One day, a young apprentice climbed to his temple, determination written all over his face, carrying a question he couldn't hold back any longer. Master, how long will it take me to master the sword if I train every single day? The master looked at him calmly and replied, 10 years. The young man, eager and impatient, pushed again. And if I train twice as long each day? And the master, without hesitation, answered, then it will take you 20. Because the more desperate you are to arrive, the further you are from doing it right. And your mind works the same way. If you don't train it patiently, if you overload it expecting instant results, you don't get stronger. You get clumsier. You've probably felt it yourself. You read a self-help book, meditate for 5 minutes, do a little journaling, and the next day, you expect total clarity, perfect focus, and a bulletproof mind. But no. Of course, it doesn't work like that. It's like going to the gym one time and then standing in front of the mirror, expecting new muscles to appear. The difference is, with your body, you laugh at that idea. But with your mind, you get frustrated when the results don't show up instantly. And that's where you're going wrong. Seneca said it clearly centuries ago. Difficulty strengthens the mind as labor does the body. But imagine Seneca saying that after 5 minutes of thinking on a Monday morning, then spending the rest of the day lying on the couch. Ridiculous, right? He wrote, reflected, questioned, applied every single day. Not because he was some enlightened being, but because he knew the mind also needs repetition, training, exposure, just like any muscle. And be mindful of what you're training. David Epstein, author of Range, Why Generalists Triumph in a Specialized World, found something fascinating. The most successful people aren't those who specialize from a young age, but those who explore many areas, who train their minds through curiosity. They don't just read about one thing, they dive into many. They change paths when needed, and that gives them something even more valuable than experience: adaptability. Because someone who trains their mind to face the unknown can think clearly even in chaos. And that, my friend, is power. Want to start truly training your mind? Here are 3 simple, effective ideas. First, create a routine of exposure. No, I'm not asking you to move to a monastery. Relax. Just do one uncomfortable thing each day for 2 minutes. Cold water. Total silence. Send that message you've been avoiding. Speak up when you usually stay quiet. It's just 2 minutes, but your mind starts learning it can push through discomfort. And that changes everything. Second, try the 5x5 technique. 5 minutes, 5 times a day, completely focused on a single task. No multitasking. Turn off notifications, set a timer, and do only that. That's how you train focus. Not with a 1-hour meditation once a month, but with small, consistent reps. And finally, shift from a results mindset to a reps mindset. Don't ask yourself if it worked. Ask yourself if you did it. Because every time you choose to train your mind, you're building something, even if you don't see it yet. Even if no one's clapping for you yet. The power you're building inside, it shows up later when you speak with intention, when your thoughts are quiet, when your actions are sure. My friend, burn this into your brain. If you don't train your mind, it will train you. But be careful. It won't train you to be stronger, it'll train you to be comfortable. And comfort doesn't win battles. If you want to live with direction, speak with purpose, think clearly, and act with power, start today with what you have. Because your greatest tool has always been your mind. You just need to teach it not to give up so easily. 7. Learn not to react. Picture an open field. The tension is thick. You can almost feel it in the air. An archer stands ready, bow loaded, eyes locked in, muscles tight, and suddenly, without pausing, without adjusting, he lets the string go. The arrow slices through the air and vanishes into the void. He's missed. Why? Because he fired before aiming with calm, and your mind works exactly the same way. When you react without thinking, you're not making decisions. You're shooting arrows blind. I've done it too, don't think I haven't. Once at work, my boss made a comment that hit me harder than I expected. Looks like you're getting a bit too comfortable, huh? It wasn't a shout, not even an insult, but it got under my skin. I felt judged. My blood boiled. And without thinking much, I requested a transfer. I did it as a show of dignity. And the very next day, I regretted it. I had reacted in the heat of the moment, without pause, without a plan. I'd fired the arrow before even seeing the target. My friend, clarity doesn't come from impulse. It comes from the pause, that brief second between what happens to you and what you do next. That's where your real power hides. Because when you act from anger, from offense, from insecurity, it's not you speaking, it's your wound yelling. Picture this. You're eating peacefully, and a friend, half joking, throws out, "You always pick the worst partners, that's why it never works out for you." You laugh on the outside, but inside, every trigger lights up. You've got a comeback on the tip of your tongue, locked and loaded. But you pause for just a second, 1 second, and you ask yourself, is this arrow worth firing? Seneca said, "He who is capable of being angry with reason is also capable of not being angry." That's a line worth tattooing. Because real power isn't about ignoring how you feel. It's about not letting your feelings make choices for you. Seneca wasn't made of stone. But before he spoke, he observed. Before he responded, he breathed. He understood perfectly that a calm mind has more strength than 100 impulses. And if you want to act with strength and speak with purpose, you need to train yourself not to get dragged into every provocation. Let me share 3 ideas that have helped me keep the bow steady until it's truly time to shoot. One powerful trick is switching from attack mode to observer mode. Before you say anything, take 3 breaths. Just that. 3 slow breaths. In that small space, most of the tension dissolves, and something wiser starts to surface. You can also try the emotional silence rule. Don't respond to anything important if you're hurt, exhausted, or emotionally stirred up. No messages, no decisions, no arguments. If your body is worn out or your heart is bruised, whatever you say in that moment probably won't be fair to you or to the other person. And there's a simple but powerful tool, a shield phrase, something you can say to create an intentional pause. I hear you. Let me think about it. Let's talk later. You're not avoiding the moment. You're choosing not to react, so you can respond with clarity. Because in the end, if you don't control your reactions will control you. And trust me, living like that is no different from firing arrows with your eyes closed. Tell us in the comments, what's the situation that challenges you most when it comes to staying calm? Because that moment, That tiny space between stimulus and response could be the very place where your real power begins. 8. Speak with purpose. Ah, my friend, speaking with purpose. Sounds tough, right? Like something only wise people or great speakers are capable of. But in reality, speaking with purpose has nothing to do with having a perfect voice or knowing how to drop clever one-liners. It's about something far more powerful, knowing where you're speaking from and why. Let me tell you the exact moment I learned this myself. I was once invited to speak to a group of teenagers. Just imagine. Intimidating, right? I was so nervous I had everything ready, key ideas, punchy lines, even a few well-timed jokes to get them to laugh. But the moment I stepped into that room, something changed. Maybe it was the silence, their serious faces, or that weird energy you feel when people are there because they have to be. Whatever it was, I knew instantly. What I had prepared didn't fit. What they needed wasn't a textbook speech. It was something real, honest, something that would actually reach them. So I closed my notes and spoke from the heart. That day, I finally understood what it means to speak with purpose. Speaking with purpose isn't about sounding polished. It's not about saying things that sound wise. It's about saying something that comes from within and has direction, an intention, something that rises from silence, not from noise. And that's why not everyone who speaks loudly carries authority. Not everyone who talks a lot is actually saying something real. These days, everyone wants to say something. On social media, in group chats, in meetings, opinions everywhere, but very few voices that carry weight. Why? Because most people speak out of impulse, ego, or fear of staying silent. But someone who has done the inner work doesn't need to shout to be heard. Epictetus said it best. First learn the meaning of what you say and then speak. It sounds obvious, but if we truly followed that rule, the world would be a lot wiser and a lot quieter. Do you think Epictetus would jump into a Twitter debate at 3 a.m. with someone whose profile picture is an anime character? Spoiler alert, absolutely not. Because he knew that speaking without purpose drains your energy, and it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. Vanessa Van Edwards, an expert in body language, breaks this down in her book Cues. She talks about the power of micro-gestures, how a steady gaze, a firm posture, or a well-placed pause can carry more weight than 1,000 empty words. Because when you're calm on the inside, it shows on the outside. The way you speak changes, your tone, your rhythm, your message. So how do you speak with purpose in real life? Here are 3 ideas you can start using today. First, ask yourself a triple question before you speak. Is it true? Is it useful? Is this the right moment? If the answer is no, why say it? Let's say someone invites you out, but you don't feel like it. So you come up with an excuse that not even your grandma would believe. But what if instead you spoke with honesty and purpose? I need to rest today, but thanks for thinking of me. Director, real, clear. Second, train your silence mode. When you feel like speaking just to show off, just to throw in your opinion or just to get the last word, stay quiet. Not out of fear, but out of awareness. Then, when you genuinely feel you can add value, that's when you speak. From your center, not from a reaction. And finally, try this exercise. It's almost a game, but it works wonders. Speak as if you could only say 10 sentences a day. Just 10. Try it one morning. You'll notice how much more intentional and selective you become. You'll make every word count. Maybe you don't need to tell that piece of gossip. Maybe you don't need to over-explain yourself. Maybe, with less, you'll say more. Because your words can be daggers or bridges. They can lift someone up or tear them down. They can shift the entire tone of a conversation, or leave it empty. You decide whether to build or destroy. But remember this, my friend. The one who masters their voice has already conquered their mind, and the one who's conquered their mind is ready to speak with purpose, think clearly, and act with power to achieve anything they set out to do. 9. Think with clarity. My friend, thinking clearly doesn't mean having 1,000 brilliant ideas a minute. It means knowing how to choose which idea deserves your attention, and which one is just another bark echoing in the background noise? Let's say it straight. An untrained mind is like a flashlight covered in dust in a pitch-dark room. You can turn it on all you want, but you won't see a thing. Clean it, focus it, and suddenly, that same light becomes a guide. Has this ever happened to you? You wake up with the intention to finally move forward on something important. You want to write that email, make that decision you've been putting off, start that exciting project, but then everything shows up at once. What if it's not the right time? What if I fail again? What if there's something I haven't considered? What if? And just like that, you spend the whole day thinking, but not thinking clearly. That's not reflection, that's overload. It's mental noise pretending to be productivity. Like having 1,000 tabs open in your browser but no idea which one is draining the battery. Because clarity isn't about speed, it's about precision. And that's something Shane Parrish, creator of Farnham Street, a project that helps thousands of people think better, explains beautifully with what he calls mental models. One of his most powerful principles is this: clarity isn't about thinking faster, it's about thinking better. You know what can help when your mind starts to get tangled? It might sound funny, but seriously ask yourself, what would a Stoic do right now? And I don't mean quoting Marcus Aurelius like you're in a philosophy class. I mean actually applying what he'd do. A Stoic doesn't get dragged around by mental chaos. So picture him beside you, calmly asking, what matters right now? That question isn't just helpful. It's a sharp tool to cut through the noise and return to the present. Use it whenever your thoughts start pulling you in 10 directions at once. Want to apply another very Stoic move? Simplify anything unnecessary so you can think clearly about what actually matters. And this isn't just some detail, it's a game changer. If you're wasting mental energy deciding what to eat for breakfast or which shirt to wear, you're stealing that energy from the decisions that really move your life forward. A Stoic doesn't get overwhelmed by nonsense. That's why eliminating small choices is a modern way of training the mind to focus. Automate the basics. Decide once, then repeat. Your brain will thank you. And what if you made your mind like a lake? How long would it take to calm after each thought, each impact? Because as long as you keep throwing stones into the water, you won't see the bottom. And without a bottom, there's no direction. Without direction, there's no action. And without clear action, my friend, it's impossible to speak with purpose, think with clarity, or act with power to achieve what you set out to do. So start today, let your mind breathe, and little by little you'll see the waters clear. My friend, we've gone through powerful tools so far, but listen closely, because what's coming next is on another level. It's not just another habit, it's the piece that holds everything else together. Ignore it, and you'll be left with good intentions and zero results. But apply it, and you'll begin to move with a different kind of force. Let's go. 10. Act with power. There comes a moment when thinking about it just isn't enough. When reading one more book, taking more notes, or waiting to feel more confident no longer adds anything. Because eventually, my friend, you're faced with only two choices. Either you move, or you stay exactly where you are. That's it. No fluff. And that moment is now. Acting with power doesn't mean having everything under control. It means moving forward even when you don't know how things will turn out. It's taking the step even when your mind is begging you to wait. It's doing what you said you would, even if you're scared. Because airplanes don't take off with the wind at their back. They take off against it. And if you're waiting for the perfect conditions, you'll never fly. You'll never see yourself clearly, never speak with that kind of strength that inspires, never make the decisions that truly change your life. Do you know the story of Madame C.J. Walker? She's a perfect example of what it means to act with power. She was born on a plantation in Louisiana, at a time when being a woman and African American was practically a life sentence of silence. She lost her parents at 7, worked as a laundress for just a few cents, And still, she built her own hair care empire and became the first self-made African-American woman millionaire in the US. Do you think she waited for everything to be perfect before taking action? Of course not. She did what she could with what she had. And that was her power. Now tell me, how many times have you known exactly what you wanted to say, do, or change, and still did nothing because it wasn't the right time? Because you were scared, because you wanted more clarity, because you thought you weren't ready. But what if acting with power isn't about waiting to be ready, but choosing to move even when you're not? Marcus Aurelius wrote one of those phrases that needs no explanation. Don't talk about it, do it. So if you're ready to make your move, here are a few ways to start today. First, use what I call the rule of one. One decision, one action, 1 hour a day. If you want to break out of paralysis, don't try to do everything at once. Just choose one thing that moves you closer to what you want, and do it. That's it. 1 hour for you. No excuses, no distractions, just intention. Second, try the 2% rule. Feeling overwhelmed by a huge goal? Perfect. Just do 2% of it today. Write 1 page if you want to write a book. Do a short workout if you want to get in shape. Send a message if there's someone you've been meaning to talk to. You don't need to do it all, but do something. 2% might seem small until you do it every day. Third, remember this phrase. It changed my life. If it scares you, do it scared. Nobody's asking you to sprint. You can go slow, you can shake, you can doubt. Just don't stop. Because confidence doesn't come before action. It's the result of action, built over time. And here's the truth. Power doesn't show up in what you say or what you think. It shows up in what you do when no one's watching. In that promise you made to yourself and kept. In that hard decision you finally stopped postponing. In that step you take today, with no guarantees, but full conviction. Because if you really want to speak with purpose, think clearly, and act with power to build the life you dream of, you need to move, even if you're not ready, even if you're full of doubts, even if your voice shakes. Because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is one action. Just one. And that, my friend, is entirely up to you. Speaking with purpose, thinking with clarity, and acting with power. It's a daily practice. It's not a finish line you cross once and forget about. It's a way of living. Every time you choose silence over noise, every time you organize your thoughts before reacting, every time you move forward even when you don't feel ready, you're training your character. You're becoming someone stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. And yes, sometimes it will feel slow, like nothing's happening. But that's where the magic is, in the invisible, in what's being forged inside you without making a sound. Because real power doesn't need to be shouted. It shows up in how you think, in how you speak, in the way you choose to act even when no one's watching. If you've made it this far, tell us in the comments. I'm building my power from within. Now that you've seen what happens when you think less and focus more, everything becomes clearer. But that's only the first step. Stay with me just a little longer, because it's time to go deeper into something just as powerful. Learning to center your attention on yourself, without noise, without comparison, and without depending on anyone to move forward. Imagine for a moment that everything you're searching for, calm, strength, clarity, is already inside you. That you don't need to shout, beg, or prove anything to anyone anymore. All you need is focus and determination. Sounds wonderful, right? Well, it's time to make it real. It's time to stop looking outward for answers. It's time to listen to yourself and take responsibility for your life. Because when you choose to make yourself the priority, that's when your true power begins. This video is an invitation to come back to yourself. Today, you'll learn to let go of what you can't control and to focus your energy on the only thing that truly matters, you. No more comparisons, no more dependency. The Stoic path isn't about proving anything. It's about transforming from within. Today, you're going to discover who you are, how much you're worth, and how to get what you deserve. Because focusing on yourself is the most powerful weapon to build the life you truly deserve. If you're ready to stop living outwardly and start building from within, then this message is for you. Stay with me until the end. Believe me, you'll walk away from this video completely transformed. But first, let me tell you the story of someone who, for a long time, forgot about herself and paid a heavy price for it. Lucia was 42 with a schedule that barely let her breathe. A literature teacher at a demanding high school, mother of two, and partner to someone who always seemed to have something more important going on. Her life was a never-ending string of tasks, to-do lists, favors, and silence. From the outside, everything looked fine, but inside, there was only noise and stress. Every day she woke up at 6, made breakfast, replied to messages while half done with her makeup, rushed through grading papers, and showed up to class pretending everything was under control. And you know what? No one noticed. Not her students, not her co-workers, not even her partner. Because Lucia had learned how to smile, even when she was falling apart inside. But there were signs. Lately, she'd cry without knowing why while driving. She felt guilty for not having the energy to play with her kids. She would quietly ask herself if this was really what life was supposed to be like. One night, after an endless day and a silly argument about forgetting to buy milk, her partner said without raising his voice, "You're always so irritable. Can't you just relax a bit?" Lucia didn't say a word. She locked herself in the bathroom, closed the toilet lid, sat down hunched over, and that's where she broke. Relax, she thought. If only you knew how hard I try not to fall apart every single day. Through sobs, she whispered to herself, I can't take it anymore. What if I gave myself a break? What if I started taking care of myself the way I deserve? That was her breaking point. No magical epiphanies, just a quiet decision. To put herself at the center, to stop being a satellite orbiting around everyone else, to finally focus on herself. The next morning, for the first time in a long time, she took care of herself first. She set her alarm 15 minutes earlier, made herself a coffee, alone, no phone, no noise, no rush. Opened a book she didn't have to grade but actually wanted to read. She sat in silence, and inside something small flickered to life. A few days later, she began going for walks at sunset. Half an hour with no headphones, no kids, no partner, no commitments, just her and her footsteps. And every time her mind tried to fill the silence with to-dos or worries, she whispered, "Not now. Right now it's just me." It wasn't easy. Guilt would still show up now and then, dressed as selfishness. But Lucia came to understand that taking care of herself didn't mean loving others less. It meant learning not to forget herself. Today, months later, her outer life is mostly the same. Same classes, same kids, same routines. But inside, everything has changed. She no longer feels invisible. She no longer needs others to acknowledge her efforts. Because she sees them, she honors them, she chose herself. And like the Stoics, she discovered that true power isn't about controlling the world. It's about learning to live within yourself, quietly and with strength. Before we continue, my friend, if you find value in our content, consider subscribing and becoming an exclusive member to access content that goes beyond the surface. And tell us in the comments, are you ready to focus on yourself? Or just write, I'm a Stoic. Today I focus on myself, not on others. That will be your quiet, yet powerful commitment to yourself. 1. You are your own hero. Yes, my friend, you heard that right. You are your own hero. No one else is going to take care of you. No one's coming to save you. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for them to change. Stop waiting for an apology. Stop waiting for recognition. No one is going to show up with a magic flashlight and say, hey, don't worry, I've got you. No, and the sooner you understand that, the sooner you can start walking toward what really matters, yourself. Epictetus made it clear centuries ago. No one is free who is not master of himself. And notice what he doesn't say. He doesn't say master of success, or master of being liked, or master of having a partner. He says, master of himself. Because the Stoics knew real power isn't out there, it's within. The world can be chaos, but if you're calm, centered, and strong, no storm can knock you down. Now let's bring it down to the everyday, the real. That moment when you, watching this video, wake up in the morning and check WhatsApp before even looking out the window. When you give a like to your favorite influencer instead of sitting down to write about how you feel. Think about it. You spend the whole day focusing outward instead of inward, solving other people's problems, worrying about what your parents think, your coworkers, your ex. Without realizing it, you've turned your life into a race to meet everyone's needs, except your own. And I don't blame you. I used to believe that if everyone around me was happy with me, then I'd be okay. But let me tell you how I went from that idea to something completely different in just a few weeks. Once, during a job I hated, I worked on a project I poured my soul into. I gave it everything. Sleepless nights, last-minute changes, I was all in. And when I presented it, no one said a word, not a thank you, not a well done. Silence, and something inside me broke. Because I did it to impress, not to grow, to be seen, not to build myself. That day I understood that if my motivation depended on others' recognition, I was lost. If I wanted to move forward, I had to do it from within. For me. No audience. No applause. And look, this isn't about becoming selfish. It's about taking responsibility. About self-care. Because if you don't take the reins of your life, someone else will. And they'll lead you where you never wanted to go. Do you know how the Stoics did it? They didn't need to disconnect from the world because they were already connected to themselves. Marcus Aurelius, even as an emperor, got up every morning and wrote, to remind himself of what was within his control and what wasn't. He didn't write letters to other emperors. He didn't write big speeches to impress the public. He wrote for himself, to understand, to calm down, to prioritize. And do you know what Seneca used to say? He repeated over and over that life isn't short, it's just wasted. They didn't speak of peace from an ivory tower. They spoke from the trenches, in the middle of chaos. And you can do the same. You don't need to live in ancient Rome to practice this. Right now, wherever you are, you can start acting as the owner of your time, your mind, your decisions. Because that's the first step for everything to change. Psychologist Molo Cebrian, host of the podcast Understand Your Mind, puts it this way. When we don't take control, our brain switches into victim mode and starts building a narrative of helplessness. And the result? We start living in reaction mode instead of choosing. What we need is to take back the power to decide. But to do that, we first have to stop seeing others as lifeboats and start building our own solid ground. So what can you do starting today to stop waiting and start taking control? Start simple. Every morning, before checking your phone, ask yourself out loud, what am I going to do for myself today? Write it down. Don't leave it in your head. Put it on paper, just like Marcus Aurelius did. Then commit to finishing something that's just for you. A walk without your phone, a page you write, a meal you cook calmly, something that's yours that doesn't need an audience. And one last thing, simple but powerful. Carry a small stone in your pocket, and every time you catch yourself waiting for something from the outside, touch it. Let it remind you that you are your starting point, that you don't need the world to move so that you can begin. You are your rock, and you don't depend on anyone or anything. Because yes, at the end of the day, it all comes down to one choice. Either you keep waiting for the conditions to change, or you start changing the way you walk. As Viktor Frankl said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. So tell me, how many more days are you going to keep waiting for the world to do something for you? Don't you think it's time to finally do something for yourself? Epictetus didn't have social media or likes, but he had something many people today are missing: clarity. He knew that the first step to freedom isn't being accepted, it's taking yourself seriously. So go on. Start with yourself. Because there's no path more powerful or more silent than the one walked by someone who chooses themselves every single day, even when no one else does. 2. Less noise, more focus. Your mind is like a radio. Think of an old radio that's full of static. When there's interference, you can't hear the music, right? Well, that's your head when you're focused on everything except yourself. When it's full of noise, distractions, obsessive thoughts sneaking in without permission, you can't hear your own voice. It doesn't matter how good the song playing in the background is. If too many frequencies are competing at once, the rhythm gets lost. And that's exactly what happens in your daily life. You try to concentrate, but at the same time you're thinking about what so-and-so said, about that unanswered message in the WhatsApp group, about what someone posted online, or why that email still hasn't been replied to. And then you wonder why you feel lost. It's because you're listening to yourself so little that you no longer even know what you need to feel good, calm, and at peace. The worst part? This has become so normal we don't even question it. We've convinced ourselves that being busy is the same as being focused. But no, I'm sorry. Running around all day isn't a sign of success. It's a sign of internal chaos. It's like walking around with your headphones on, 100 songs blasting at once and trying to figure out which one was yours. What a nightmare, right? We live in an age of notifications, messages, interruptions that never stop. And each one adds another layer of noise, pulling us further from our own frequency. And of course, how are you supposed to focus on yourself when you're reacting to every outside impulse like everything is urgent? You can't. You're so busy with what's happening out there that what's happening inside you gets no space at all. Seneca, one of the great Stoics, said it clearly. You will be happier if you do fewer things, but do them better. In his time, that meant avoiding distractions, focusing on what mattered, living with clarity. Today, in a world where your phone buzzes every 2 minutes, that advice feels almost revolutionary. If the Stoics lived today, believe me, they'd be the ones turning off notifications and leaving their phones in another room. Marcus Aurelius wouldn't be recording daily stories. He'd be writing in his journal while sipping his coffee, without looking at a screen. Picture a typical day. You wake up and before even stretching, you've already got 15 messages, 3 calls from your boss, and 6 friend requests. Oh God, this is too much, your mind screams silently. While eating breakfast, you answer a few emails. At work, you jump from one task to another, constantly interrupted by new emergencies. By the end of the day, you collapse, exhausted, with the nagging feeling that you didn't really do anything for you. You're busy, yes, but far from yourself. That constant multitasking doesn't just drain you, it disconnects you. And when you disconnect, you lose focus. You lose your sense of purpose, and you lose yourself. Because focusing isn't just about being productive, it's about finding your way back to yourself. It's about listening again. So how do we actually apply this in real life? First, set time blocks. Choose 2 or 3 moments in your day to do just one thing at a time. Shut everything else down. Do it as if your peace depended on it, because in a way, it does. Second, check your phone notifications. Do you really need to know your food delivery app has a new discount, or that someone you haven't seen since high school posted a picture? Get rid of what doesn't add value, make room. And third, spend at least 5 minutes a day in total silence. No screens, no music, no distractions. Just you with yourself. At first, it'll feel strange, maybe even uncomfortable, but after a while, you'll feel like you're coming home. Because in the end, when you reduce the noise, you amplify your purpose. And there's no stronger focus than that of someone who sees themselves, listens to themselves, and chooses themselves above everything else. 3. Choose your battles and let go of the rest. There's a truth that's hard to accept, but incredibly freeing once you do. Not everything deserves your energy. That's simple. And that difficult. We think everything around us needs us, that we have to give our opinion, take action, fix things, stay in control. But no. The truth is something else. You can't stop the rain, but you can open an umbrella. In other words, you can't control everything that happens, but you can decide how you respond to it. And trust me, that decision can change your life. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If something external hurts you, it's not the thing itself that disturbs you, but your judgment about it." And he didn't say that while sipping from a coconut on a beach. He was an emperor dealing with wars, betrayal, illness. And still, his philosophy was crystal clear. There are things that don't depend on you. And the sooner you stop fighting those things, the sooner you'll find peace. But how do you apply this in real life? I'm not talking about the big catastrophes they show on the news. Those are obviously out of your control. I'm talking about the everyday stuff, the tangible things, your daily reality. Think about this. You wake up early, already running late for work, and on the way, someone gives you a nasty look or speaks to you rudely for no reason. Something inside you flares up. You feel the urge to snap back, to confront them because, of course, I'm not going to let people walk all over me. But what happens afterward? You dwell on it for hours. By midday, you're still replaying what you should have said. That person's long gone, probably doesn't even remember it happened. But you're still carrying it. Do you really want to keep giving away your peace like that? Once, I met a man who gave me a Stoic lesson without even knowing it. His daughter was very sick, and one day, while sitting in the hospital waiting room, a stranger accidentally bumped into him and didn't apologize. He took a deep breath, settled back into his seat, and said, "I've got too many important battles right now to waste my energy on this one." Wow, I thought, what composure. That phrase stuck with me. That attitude, that's pure Stoicism. That's wisdom in action. Because like Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And here's the deeper truth behind that idea. When you choose your battles, you're choosing yourself. You're saying, I matter more than this noise. You're focusing your energy inward, not on changing what you can't control. Even modern authors say it, just with different words. Stephen Covey, author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, wrote, "Most people react to circumstances. Proactive people act from their values." And that's exactly what we're talking about here. Reacting to everything is living at the mercy of the world. Choosing where to place your energy is building from the inside. It's prioritizing yourself. It's finding your center. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is nothing. Don't reply. Don't argue. Don't correct someone who doesn't want to understand. Not out of cowardice, but out of focus. Because you're choosing you. Because you're saving your energy for what truly matters. So how do you do this? Here's a simple mental trick that can help you more than you think. Before reacting, ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? Not in an hour, not tomorrow, a year from now. If the answer is no, let it go. Don't carry the weight of a conflict that isn't even worth it. Another powerful tool, breathe before you speak. It's not just a mindfulness tip, it's a life strategy. Breathing reconnects you with yourself, with what you need in that moment. Because sometimes what your ego wants to say isn't what your peace needs to hear. And if all else fails, ask yourself this: who am I if I don't engage in this battle? What you'll discover is you're still you, just calmer, more centered, more you. My friend, choosing your battles isn't giving up. Like Sun Tzu said, the greatest victory is the one won without fighting. Letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's deciding that your energy is sacred and you're not going to spill it over every little obstacle. You're focusing on yourself, not out of ego, but out of emotional intelligence. Because in the end, not everything deserves your energy. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you'll stop wasting your time on fights that were never yours to begin with. Learn to let go, and you'll gain something worth more than any external victory: your peace. 4. Stop explaining yourself. Those who understand don't need proof. Have you ever stopped to think about why you justify yourself so much? Why you give so many explanations for what you do, feel, or decide? What are you trying to prove? And to whom? If you ask yourself honestly, you might uncover something uncomfortable. Maybe you're not acting from who you are, but from what others expect of you. as if you needed to convince the whole world that what you're doing is okay, just so you can feel okay too. And it might seem harmless, but I'm sorry, it's not. It means you're measuring your worth by other people's standards, that you're looking outside for validation when it should begin within. But here's something no one tells you. You don't need to shout your worth. A jewel shines without making a sound. Have you ever seen a diamond screaming, "Look how beautiful I am"? Ever heard a gold bar say, "I'm worth more than silver"? Of course not. The diamond has value just by being a diamond. The gold is valuable just for being gold, and you, my friend, are no different. You don't need to justify every step to make it meaningful. You don't need others to approve your life. Epictetus said it best. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Don't talk about how you're changing, live the change. Don't justify your boundaries, set them and make sure they're respected. Don't ask for permission to prioritize yourself, just do it. I know it's not easy. We live in a culture that teaches us to be liked, that trained us from a young age to believe that not explaining ourselves is selfish, that choosing our own well-being means abandoning others. So when you start doing things differently, the noise shows up. Why are you doing that? What's wrong with you now? Why didn't you come? Is something going on between us? And instead of taking a deep breath and moving on, you play along. You explain, soften your decisions, lower your voice so no one feels uncomfortable. But the more you do that, the more you disconnect. The more you doubt if what you chose was right. The more you bend to what others expect, and the less room there is for what you truly feel. It's like you're living your life with subtitles just in case someone doesn't get it. Let me tell you clearly, every time you justify who you are, you're handing over more power than you should. It's not that you can't ever explain anything, but you should know when you're doing it out of fear and when you're doing it out of self-respect. A few months ago, I met a woman in a pottery class. Her name was Clara. She shared that she had left her stable job to pursue something she'd been passionate about for years. But instead of enjoying it, she spent her days justifying herself to her family. I'm doing it because it makes me happy, but don't worry, I have a backup plan. I know it sounds risky, but I'm working on alternative income. I'm not being irresponsible, it's just that. And as she said all this, her voice trembled. You know what I told her? Clara, the problem isn't that you're explaining. It's that you're explaining yourself to people who don't care to understand. She went quiet, and then she smiled, relieved. She got it. She realized the only person she owed anything to was herself. That's the key. The people who truly value you don't need constant explanations, and the ones always demanding them might not be seeking understanding, but control. And look, Marcus Aurelius said it with striking clarity. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. If your mind is full of justifications, of trying to please, of dodging criticism, then your energy isn't going into living, it's going into convincing. What if you let go of that burden? What if you stopped asking for permission and started giving yourself freedom, started valuing your opinion above all? Next time you need to make a decision that's for you, practice saying no without an explanation. It's hard at first, I know, but it's like building a muscle. The first no might come out shaky, but over time you'll say it calmly. Because you'll know that behind it there's no aggression, just clarity. And another thing, distance yourself from people who only stick around when you explain everything. Why? Because they pull you away from yourself. Those who need to understand every move you make just to feel secure. They're not really with you. They're with their need to control you. Surround yourself with people who respect your yes and your no without needing to interrogate them. Because in the end, your life is yours. You're not here to convince anyone that you deserve to live the way you've chosen. Your story doesn't need footnotes. Your peace doesn't need a translator. And you don't need permission to be who you already are. So let it go. Let go of the fear of not pleasing. Let go of the habit of justifying yourself. Let go of the need to explain every step, because in the silence that remains, you'll finally hear yourself. And believe me, That is far more powerful than any explanation ever could be. 5. Don't react, breathe. Once upon a time, there was a wise old man who lived high up on a mountain. One day, an angry young man climbed all the way to his cabin to confront him. He was convinced the wise man had spoken badly about him. As soon as he arrived, without even greeting him, he started shouting, hurling insults, accusing him of things that weren't true. The wise man looked at him silently, unmoved, his face calm. When the young man finally finished, the wise man asked gently, "If someone offers you a gift and you don't accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The young man, confused, replied, "Well, to the person offering it, right?" What a silly question. And the wise man said, "Then your anger is yours. I don't accept it." That little story holds a lesson that, if you truly take it in, can change your life. Not everything that's thrown at you needs to be picked up. Not everything that affects you deserves an automatic response. That's a deeply Stoic lesson, and it can become deeply yours if you're brave enough to try. Because when you react without thinking, you hand over control of your mental state to the outside world, to whoever's yelling, insulting you, to the weather, to the news. But when you choose to control your response, when you take a moment to breathe, now that's something else. That's when your focus returns to you. That's when you stop being an emotional puppet and start becoming the master of your inner space. Because yes, being your own master starts with not letting others control your breath. Think of yourself like the ocean. The surface waves can be chaotic, unpredictable, but deep down, there's calm. Your peace doesn't come from what happens outside. It comes from how you choose to respond. And that choice is only possible if you give yourself the time to not react on autopilot. Seneca said it without sugarcoating. Anger, if not restrained, is often more harmful than the injury that caused it. Sound familiar? Someone sends you a nasty message, you read it, get fired up, respond from the gut, and then, of course, you regret it. Because you didn't speak from your center, you spoke from a wounded ego, from pride, from confusion. And here's what no one teaches you. Reacting is not the same as being authentic. A lot of times it's just noise. Noise that covers up what you really feel. And that noise takes you away from yourself. It enslaves you. Because the more you react to the external world, the less connected you are to your internal one. Living in reaction mode means being constantly at the mercy of external triggers. It's living outwardly. Breathing, on the other hand, is coming back to yourself. It's pausing. It's asking, does what I'm about to say or do really represent me? Or is it just a reflection of what someone else triggered in me? What's truly best for me? To react, yell, get mad? Or to stay calm, talk to myself, understand, and carry on in peace? And the amazing thing is, it doesn't take long. Sometimes all you need is 5 seconds. 5 seconds to reconnect with your center, to remember that you are not what others make you feel. You are what you choose to do with those feelings. There's something deeply powerful in learning to count to 10 when you feel like you're about to explode. And you don't do it for them. You do it for you. Because every time you choose not to react out of chaos, you're reaffirming that your energy is yours. And that is self-care. That is personal focus. If you can, try to bring daily meditation into your life, even just a few minutes. Not to be spiritual, but to train your ability to resist your first impulse. Because when you build that invisible muscle, you begin to realize you can live without catching fire every time a spark flies. And listen, this isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about not losing yourself every time someone throws their emotional mess at you. It's about inhabiting yourself more deeply, not disconnecting from who you are. Breathing before you act is not weakness. It's wisdom, it's courage, it's self-mastery. It's knowing you don't have to win every battle because you already have you. And now tell me, how many times have you reacted just out of fear of what others might think? Of not being accepted? Of being disliked? Listen closely to what comes next, because it just might give you the perspective you need. 6. It's not about being liked, it's about being well. Sometimes you do something that comes straight from the heart, And then you look around, waiting to see if it was well received, waiting for a smile, some approval, a nod of validation. And if it doesn't come, you start wondering if you did the right thing. But stop and ask yourself, do you really need someone else's approval to feel at peace with yourself? Or is it that, without even realizing, you've handed your sense of well-being over to someone else? This happens more than you think. We go around measuring our words, our actions, our decisions, as if we were constantly auditioning, as if our worth depended on applause. But no, look at it this way. You are not a coin. You're not meant to be liked by everyone. You didn't come into this world to fit perfectly into every room or to meet every expectation. You came here to find yourself, to be you, unique, free, and real. And that, my friend, is already more than enough. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Perfect tranquility consists in the good ordering of the mind, in your own domain. Not in external applause, not in social acceptance, in internal order, in knowing that you're being true to yourself, even if that doesn't please everyone. You know when that inner order breaks? When you start changing your opinion just so no one looks at you funny. When you swallow your truth because you're afraid of making someone uncomfortable. When you pretend to be excited about something you don't care about, just to feel like you belong. You do it at work, with friends, even with your family. And the result is always the same. You're physically present, but absent from yourself. Let me be honest with you again, for a long time I was that person. Always smiling. The nice guy, afraid of upsetting others. But eventually, I hit a wall. I realized that in trying to please everyone, I was letting myself down. That every yes I said without meaning it was really a no, I was whispering to myself. That's when I started making small changes. I remember being at a family lunch when someone made a comment I completely disagreed with. Normally, I would have smiled politely and nodded, but not that day. That day I said, "I respect your opinion, but I don't share it." And nothing happened. No one got up. No one stormed out. But I walked away with a peace inside me that no external approval could ever match. That's it. I didn't need to launch into a long explanation. I didn't have to prove why I thought differently. Just expressing myself, giving value to my thoughts and who I am, brought me a calm I can't even describe. It felt amazing. That's when I understood something crucial. Real well-being doesn't come from being liked by others. It comes from not betraying yourself. Psychologist Carl Rogers put it perfectly. When I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. He spoke of authenticity as the foundation of mental health, and he acknowledged that his vision was partly inspired by Stoic philosophy, because the Stoics spoke of this too, of living according to nature, which means living according to your essence, your truth, not the script someone else wrote for you. Now let me throw something at you that might stir things up. I'm going to challenge you silently. Over the next few days, pay attention to how often you adjust what you say or do just to avoid discomfort, to fit in, to be liked. Don't change anything yet, just observe it. And ask yourself, does this represent me or is it a disguise? Because if what you're saying isn't you, then who's speaking? To return to your center, there are simple tools. For example, make a list of your personal values. Write them down. When you feel social pressure or the urge to be liked, read that list. It's your anchor, your reminder of who you are. Here's another powerful habit: daily self-affirmation. It's not about showing off. It's about reminding yourself every morning, I don't need to be liked. I need to be real. I don't need to please. I need to be me. When you repeat that day after day, your nervous system starts to relax, and your self-worth stops relying on likes, forced smiles, or verbal approval. Because in the end, being well with yourself is worth infinitely more than being liked by others. Opinions shift, people look away, trends fade. But you're the one who's with you for life. 7. Clear your mind like you clean your home. Picture this. You come home after a long day and the first thing you see is chaos. Clothes on the floor, dishes in the sink, papers everywhere. It's hard to even breathe, right? Just looking at it feels overwhelming. But you know what's worse? That same feeling is exactly what many people carry inside every single day. Because your mind is also a room. And when it's full of clutter, energy doesn't flow. There's no space for anything new. Just noise. Just weight. And here comes the part we almost never want to face. Most people don't clean their mind until they're at their breaking point, until they're exhausted, explode, or get sick, until the mental mess becomes unbearable. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can take care of yourself before the collapse. You can make inner cleaning a daily practice, just like brushing your teeth or making your bed. Because yes, organizing your inner world is also an act of self-love. Do you know how Epictetus would have done it if he were alive today? Imagine him sitting in a cafe, writing in his notebook while everyone else stares at their phones, complains about traffic, their boss, or things they can't control. Epictetus doesn't join the noise. He observes, he breathes, he writes, he reflects on what he feels, what he thinks, and leaves out what doesn't serve him. And if someone asks why he does it, he calmly replies, "It's not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them." Do you see it? Clearing your mind isn't about erasing what happens to you. It's about cleaning up how you interpret it. It's about making space, letting go of what no longer serves you. And that takes time, intention, and above all, practice. One of the most toxic and common habits? Piling up worries and doing nothing with them. You shove them into your mind like someone stuffing papers into a messy drawer. You don't deal with them. You don't process them. You just push them deeper, until one day the drawer overflows and collapses on you, in the form of anxiety, insomnia, or emotional burnout. There's a quote by psychiatrist Luis Rojas Marcos that explains it clearly and simply. Thinking about your problems isn't bad. What's bad is chewing on them endlessly without analyzing or resolving them. That's the key. It's not about ignoring what you're going through, it's about putting it in its place. Just like cleaning your house. Review what's there, decide what stays, what goes, and what needs your attention now. So here's a real, practical, consistent mental cleaning routine. First, spend 15 minutes a day writing down your thoughts. No filters. What's worrying you, distracting you, exciting you, everything. It's not for anyone else. It's just to release it. It's your space. Second, eliminate things that don't add value to your life. And yes, this includes certain conversations, certain commitments you accept out of obligation that only fill you with noise. Ask yourself, does this bring me closer to myself or further away? If it's the second, let it go. Clearing your mind isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's taking care of yourself. And you don't have to wait until you have more time, until your next vacation, or until everything calms down. You can start today, right where you are, with what you have, because even if it seems like a small gesture, it's actually a silent declaration. I care enough about myself to stop carrying what isn't mine. Remember, a clear mind is the first step toward a full life. And that's not built with noise or grand gestures, but in the quiet daily choice of someone who picks peace over chaos. 8. Do yourself a favor, sleep peacefully every night. No, I'm not talking about taking a sleeping pill. I'm not even talking about playing relaxing music or doing yoga right before bed. I'm talking about something deeper, about making things easy for your conscience when night falls and your head hits the pillow, about not having to wrestle with thoughts whispering about what you did out of fear, pressure, or to please others, about not having to replay excuses or sugarcoat your choices, about being able to close your eyes and truly rest in peace with yourself, because that's what truly calms you. Sleeping peacefully has far less to do with what's going on outside, and everything to do with what's going on inside. And it begins with something very simple, doing the right thing, even when no one's watching. Picture this. You're on the subway, exhausted after a long day. An elderly woman boards with bags in her hands. No one moves. You're comfortable. You hesitate. It's a short ride, no one's forcing you. But you feel that tiny internal nudge that says, do the right thing. And you do. You stand, she sits. She thanks you with a genuine smile. No applause, no audience, but inside, you feel aligned. That feeling is the beginning of true rest. Epictetus said it boldly. If you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless and stupid. What does that mean? That doing the right thing is often unpopular, uncomfortable, or misunderstood. But doing it anyway, even if it feels awkward, is what transforms you. Because you're not doing it for others. You're doing it because your relationship with yourself matters more than fleeting approval from anyone else. And that has a massive impact, not just on how you sleep, but on how you wake up, on how you move through life knowing you owe yourself nothing, that you're not hiding, that your worth isn't built on appearances, but on the choices you make when no one's watching. And here's where a powerful concept comes in. Selfish altruism. Sounds like a contradiction, but it's not. It means that being kind, acting with virtue, doing what's right, and taking care of others is also the best thing you can do for you. Because it builds your self-esteem. It grounds you in what matters. It clears your mind of the weight of inconsistency. And it brings your focus back to you, not from ego, but from integrity. That's why Seneca wrote, "The reward of a good action is having done it." Don't expect applause. Expect peace. Expect calm. Expect that subtle smile that shows up when you know you made the right call. And yes, even that starts with practice. Start by asking yourself each night without judgment, was I the person I want to be today? It's not about being perfect. It's about not lying to yourself. It's about adjusting, observing, refusing to ignore what's inside. It also helps to write down your values, not to hang them on the wall, but to keep them close when the pressure comes, when you hear, just do what everyone else does, or it's no big deal. That list reminds you of who you are, or who you don't want to stop being. And finally, start making choices that feel good when you're alone. The ones that may go unnoticed, but you feel them. That make a difference when you don't need to justify yourself, when you don't need to replay the reasons behind your actions. Because you already know. Your conscience knows. Do yourself that favor. Not for your image, not out of obligation, but because living in peace with yourself is the greatest gift you can give yourself every single day. Inner peace isn't a coincidence, it's a consequence. It's the result of small daily choices that build trust, stability, and truth. And if this hits something inside you, stay with it. What's coming next is one more step toward that version of you that no longer needs to seem, because it's starting to know. 9. Not every issue is yours. Do you really need to have an opinion on everything? To be up to date with every news story? To jump into every discussion? To correct every detail? To defend yourself every time? Or would it be better to focus all that energy on what really matters? On you, on your peace, on your path. We live surrounded by noise, opinions, debates, comments. Everyone has something to say, and it seems like you should also have something to reply. But if you don't filter, if you don't choose what to pay attention to, you end up exhausted. You lose time, focus, clarity, and the worst, you lose yourself. Science has already proven it. Numerous studies show how social overparticipation, both online and offline, causes cognitive fatigue, increases anxiety, and scatters decision-making capacity. That is, the more you give your opinion on everything, the less clear you are with yourself. I've been there, I admit it. For years, I felt like I had to have a position on every topic, that I couldn't let a comment go unanswered, that I had to defend my point of view as if my worth depended on it. Do you know what all of that taught me? To feel exhausted, to talk a lot, and to listen to myself very little. Until the Stoics came into my life, and they showed me how wrong I was. Seneca taught that one should care for their soul as one cares for their body, avoiding loading it with other people's concerns, unnecessary judgments, and issues that don't belong to them. For him, what others thought or said shouldn't take up more space than necessary in the mind of someone who wants to live in peace. And here's where something comes in that changed my way of living. Not every invitation to argue deserves your attendance. Some come disguised as interesting debates, but they only want to drag you down to the same level of confusion. Knowing how to spot that isn't coldness, it's wisdom, it's self-care. Picture this scene. You're in a bar. Saturday afternoon, the bar is packed. A group starts talking about politics, at first with a calm tone, then a little louder. And in a while, they're already yelling at each other. No one listens. No one gives in. No one learns anything. They just want to be right. The scene goes on for more than half an hour. Shouting, sarcasm, tension. In the end, one leaves offended, another stays upset, and the rest with tired faces. And the most curious thing? No one had changed their mind. Does it sound familiar? Because that's how we often use our energy. Fighting in battles that don't build, that don't add anything, that don't transform. They only pull us away from ourselves. That's why Marcus Aurelius left it written, "The best revenge is to be different from the one who caused you harm." And being different starts with choosing silence when the noise doesn't deserve your voice, with not getting involved where it's not needed, with not replying just out of pride. And what can you do to stop carrying what isn't yours? Start by practicing conscious silence. Not that awkward silence, but an intentional one. One that comes from serenity, from understanding that staying quiet is not always giving in. Sometimes it's rising above. It's also useful that before giving your opinion, you ask yourself, does this really add anything? Or do I just want to reaffirm myself, defend myself, prove something? And if it's the second, let it go. Because sometimes, the biggest act of maturity is choosing not to react. And now, yes, I'll leave you with 2 ideas so you can start getting your center back today. Ask yourself this every day. How many of the things that are occupying me today really belong to me? Write it down if you need to. You're going to be surprised at how much energy we waste on battles that aren't ours. And that simple act of honesty is already an act of self-care. And protect yourself, but not with walls, with focus. Stop being available for everyone all the time. You also have the right not to reply, not to give your opinion, not to explain. Because every time you choose to save yourself for what matters, you're taking care of yourself. You're choosing yourself. Remember, silence is also a powerful answer, and many times it's the wisest one. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everything has to go through you. And what comes next, right now, is going to help you focus your mind in a practical, deep, and constant way. You're going to want to hear it. 10. You don't need to be anyone's hero except your own. Does it happen to you that sometimes you're more focused on saving other people's lives than on rescuing your own? You worry about how they're doing, if they need you, if you're going to disappoint them. And without realizing it, you become everyone's lifeline, except your own. Here's a fable that sums up this silent trap. A man was caught in a storm in the middle of the sea with his boat in pieces. As he struggled to stay afloat, he saw others also drowning. One asked him for help, and with the little he had, he gave it. Then another and another. He kept throwing his last life rings to everyone until, exhausted, he was left with nothing. When it was finally his turn to ask for help, he had no strength left. He wanted to save everyone, but he didn't save himself. And you know what else? All the others were already gone. They had saved themselves first. And no, don't get it wrong, this isn't an ode to selfishness. But I do want you to understand that if you don't save yourself first, you can't save anyone else. Why do you think the flight safety instructions say, in case of emergency, put your own oxygen mask on first? Exactly. You can't be anyone's hero if you don't take care of yourself first. And the Stoics knew this. Epictetus said, "Don't let what you can't do interfere with what you can." And we could add, "Don't let what others need make you forget what you need." Because you can't help from emptiness, only from balance. Taking responsibility for everything, without paying attention to what's happening inside us, isn't altruism. It's self-forgetting. And the bill always comes. In the form of emotional exhaustion, accumulated resentment, that emptiness that can't be filled by external recognition. Here comes the concept of Stoic care. It's not selfish to put yourself first. It's wise. Because from that place you can clearly choose when to help and when not to. You can give without draining yourself. You can set boundaries without guilt. You can look at others without losing sight of yourself. The problem begins when we confuse generosity with constant sacrifice, when we believe that helping always, at any time, makes us good people. But no, what makes you a person of integrity is helping from abundance, not from lack. Ask yourself this question. Out of everything you're doing for others, how much comes from love and how much from fear of not being enough? Because sometimes helping without limits is just another way of seeking approval. And the desperate search for approval is a disguised form of abandoning yourself. The Stoics practiced daily self-examination. They constantly asked themselves if they were acting in line with their virtue. And one of the pillars of virtue is precisely wisdom. And there is no wisdom in burning yourself out just to please. It's not about no longer being there for others. It's about being there for yourself first, so you can be there for them better. Because the only real way to support others is not letting go of yourself. If something doesn't add to your life, clearly, it takes away. If something pulls you away from yourself, even if it seems noble, examine it. If someone always asks and never gives back listening, respect, or presence, that's also a way of draining you. A Stoic tip you can apply today. Learn to say no without feeling guilty. Create sacred spaces no one touches. Your silent hour, your daily walk, your time to think. Don't explain them, don't negotiate them, they're yours. Remember, you didn't come here to be anyone's savior. You came to live your own process with dignity. And that starts by choosing yourself before trying to save the world. 11. When everything bothers you, the problem isn't everything. Think about that coworker who always snaps at the slightest thing, who takes everything the wrong way, who answers you with a bad attitude even if you just said good morning, or that relative who gets mad even when you simply ask how they're doing. Got someone in mind? Now ask yourself this: do you really think it's because of what you said? Or is it something inside them that's spilling outward? Now think about yourself. When everything gets on your nerves, the problem isn't the world. The problem is the mess inside you. We project constantly. If you're doing well, even traffic feels tolerable. If you're not, a spoon out of place can throw you off. And this isn't just a hunch, it's science. A Harvard University study showed that people with high levels of emotional stress are more likely to interpret neutral stimuli as threats. That means when you're upset, everything feels aggressive, even when it's not. Philosopher and psychologist William James put it like this: the greatest discovery of my generation is that a human being can alter his life by altering his attitude. And the Stoics, 2,000 years earlier, already knew this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." That change in interpretation, that inner work, has more impact than you might think, because it doesn't just help you handle a bad day. It transforms how you relate to yourself. You start noticing when you're being swept away, when you're drifting from yourself, when you're betraying your own balance. And that moment of clarity is the beginning of real growth. As you work on this, you slowly begin choosing your battles better, saving your energy for what really matters, realizing that your peace can't depend on everyone behaving the way you want them to, because that's never going to happen. And then something powerful starts to happen. You refocus. You reconnect with what you really need. You stop looking for blame outside and start truly listening to yourself. It's not about nothing affecting you. It's about not letting everything drag you down, about coming back to yourself every time the world feels like it's crashing down. Think about it. When you're in a hurry and someone gets in your way, you get angry. But if you're relaxed, it doesn't bother you at all. The difference isn't the person, it's you. And that, though it may seem small, is what gives you freedom. Because true freedom isn't found in a changing environment. It's found in your ability to stay steady when it doesn't. Here's a powerful Stoic practice. Every time something bothers you, instead of reacting, ask yourself immediately, what does this say about me more than about them? It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's also transformative. It gives you perspective. It gives you back your power. And here are 2 simple ideas that can help. When something external upsets you, don't act right away. Wait, walk, breathe. Write it down in a note on your phone if you need to. That small pause brings you back to your center. And at night, identify one moment in the day when you lost your cool more than necessary. Ask yourself, what did I need in that moment? What was I missing? Because the more you understand that, the easier it will be not to repeat the same pattern. Remember, when everything bothers you, the problem isn't everything. And realizing that doesn't just bring calm, it makes you stronger. Because you're learning to center yourself, to listen to what truly matters, and to choose what deserves your energy. And in that quiet act, without big displays, is where your real change begins. And now that you know the problem isn't everything that bothers you, but how you interpret it, stay with me a little longer. Because what's coming next might be exactly what you've unknowingly needed for a long time. 12. Do a cleanup of people and thoughts. There are moments when the only thing you need to move forward is to empty out. Let go of what weighs you down, what confuses you, what drains you. Because not everything that comes with you is helping you grow. And not everything that's part of your life deserves to stay. What if what's holding you back isn't a lack of motivation, but an excess of noise? There are relationships that don't break, but they rot. Conversations that just go in circles. People who don't attack you directly but drain your energy without you even noticing. And thoughts, those are the worst, that have been with you for years, repeating like an old song, and you don't even know why you still believe them. Picture your mind like a closet. If it's full of old, useless stuff you no longer use but feel guilty throwing away, there's no room for anything new. You can't move forward if every day you get dressed in the same old judgments, fears, and excuses you've been carrying for years. And you know what's powerful? That you can clear out that closet, and you don't need noise, revenge, or explanations. Just clarity. The story goes that Epictetus, when he was a slave, was punished by his master for supposed disobedience. But instead of defending himself or exploding, he simply looked him in the eyes and said, "You can break my leg, but not my soul." His soul no longer belonged to his surroundings. It belonged to him. And he only achieved that through inner cleansing, discernment, and the courage to let go of what didn't set him free. You can do the same. Maybe you don't have to walk away from everything, but you do need to stop holding on to what dims your light. Here are some signs that you need to do a cleanup. If you finish a conversation feeling smaller than before, more insecure or confused. If you catch yourself mentally repeating phrases like, "I can't," "That's just how I am," "What will they think?" If you're surrounded by people who minimize your achievements, your dreams, or your transformation, it's not about cutting everything off. It's about choosing with love, not out of resentment, but out of responsibility. Start small. That constant chat with someone who only talks about problems but never wants solutions. That thought that shows up every time you look in the mirror. That habit you go through on autopilot that deep down steals your life. Apply this metaphor. You are like fertile soil. You can't plant anything new if the ground is full of weeds. And many times, the weeds look like people who don't respect you, ideas that don't represent you, or routines that no longer make sense. Here are some clear tips to start your cleanup. Make a list. People, ideas, habits. Don't judge. Just observe. Does this lift me up or drag me down? Choose 3 things to let go of this week. A phone call you're not going to return. A thought you're going to challenge. A habit you're going to replace. Create a space for yourself. A day, an afternoon, an hour. No one, no screens, just you and your clarity. That's where everything gets decided. And remember, cleaning up isn't losing, it's freeing. It's allowing the new, the good, the real to finally have space. You don't need a perfect life to start. You just need the courage to clear it out. And the rest comes on its own. Because sometimes, moving forward isn't about adding. It's about letting go. Ah, my friend. Letting go of what holds you back and refocusing on yourself, that's true freedom. Stop carrying what keeps you from growing. Every boundary you set, every thought you choose to release brings you closer to your center. And from there, everything changes. If you've made it this far, write it in the comments. Today I focus on myself and move forward with courage. That way, I'll know who the true Stoic warriors are who made it to the end. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give this video a like so you don't miss out on what's coming next. I also invite you to check out our playlist, which you'll see on the screen. It's packed with ideas, stories, and advice to help you navigate life with more wisdom and confidence. Click it, and let's keep moving forward together. Until next time, take care and keep embracing your inner Stoic. My friend, when you truly focus on yourself and stop wasting energy looking at others, something shifts. Order appears where there used to be confusion. And from that inner order, the next step begins to take shape. Now, you're going to learn how the Stoics turned chaos into direction, how they organized their lives to move forward with firmness, slowly, calmly, but without stopping. If you want to keep building the clarity that has already started to emerge, stay with me. What comes next will help you set your life in motion in a completely new way. Look around you. Do you see order or just chaos slowly eating away at your life? That silent mess invading your mind and stealing your time is a relentless thief. It takes away your peace, it steals your focus, it steals you. And as long as you keep allowing it, you'll stay trapped in a life you don't control. But today, we're going to break those chains and take back your place. In this video, you'll discover how Stoic teachings can be your compass to escape chaos and build the life you deserve. These aren't just random tips to be more organized. Here you'll find deep, practical keys that will help you put every piece in its place. You'll learn to prioritize what's essential, to eliminate what doesn't add value, and to turn confusion into a clear path toward success. Because organizing your life isn't just a skill, it's the foundation that supports your peace of mind and your purpose. Stay with me, and you'll see how, step by step, you'll go from feeling lost to having absolute control over your life. 1. Comfort is your base, not your prison. My friend, picture yourself preparing for a great adventure, climbing a mountain. You can't just head straight for the summit without first setting up a base camp. That camp isn't the final destination, but without it, the climb would be a disaster, a leap into the void without a safety net. Well, your comfort zone is exactly that, your base camp. It's not a place to get stuck in and let it consume you. It's the safe platform from which you can plan your next steps and gather momentum to grow. Marcus Aurelius, with his deep wisdom, understood this balance perfectly. He didn't run away from comfort, but he didn't get trapped in it either. For him, virtue was in finding that middle ground, using that calm as a springboard for expansion. That's why he said, "Don't run from comfort, but don't stay imprisoned in it." Do you know how he saw life? Like the steady beat of a heart. It contracts, it expands, it rests, and it activates without stopping. And you need that rhythm too. It's not about jumping without a parachute into chaos, nor about living locked inside your bubble. It's about moving intelligently between the two. Can you imagine Marcus Aurelius today? He wouldn't be trapped in an elevator when he could take the stairs. He wouldn't waste 5 minutes with the remote just to change the channel. He'd laugh at how comfortable we've become. And I'm not talking about luxury, but about how comfort so often turns into a golden cage. It paralyzes us, numbs us, and keeps us from growing. If there were a Stoicism for the age of the couch, he'd be the first to get up and move, even if it was just a little more. Now think about your daily routine. You wake up, make your coffee, maybe read a bit, take a shower. That routine is your base camp, your comfort zone. But the next step isn't to dive headfirst into the abyss or change everything radically. No, what you need is a small stretch. Walk 5 minutes farther, meditate 2 minutes longer, or simply change the order in which you do things. That little gesture is using comfort to grow, to turn that silent disorder in your daily life into a clear path toward your goals. Because organizing your life starts by turning that inner chaos into something manageable. And yes, at first it's hard. Whoever said growth would be easy? But listen to this. True courage isn't throwing yourself out there without a net. It's having a base so solid that it supports you with every new step. Psychologist Brené Brown explains it perfectly. Real strength is in that magical balance between moving forward without breaking and growing without burning out. Comfort isn't your enemy, my friend. It's the springboard you jump from, not the shelter where you hide forever. So here's my challenge to you. Step a little outside that base camp without losing the solid ground under your feet. First, observe and recognize which routines give you security and which ones only trap you without you realizing it. Be honest, are you still losing hours on social media? You probably think, it relaxes me. But the truth is, it distracts you and keeps you from organizing your life. Recognizing those habits will help you remove what holds you back and focus on what truly leads you to your goals. Second, add one small daily challenge, something that takes you slightly out of your comfort zone. I'm not asking for a giant change or a leap without a parachute, just a gesture that makes you think, I haven't done this before, or it scares me a bit, but I'm going to try. What could it be? Changing the order of your activities, starting the day with something different, talking to someone new, or dedicating 5 minutes to that task you always postpone. That spark of novelty is like a jolt that puts your routine in motion and begins to turn that inner chaos into something clear and organized. Every time you do something different, even if it's small, you train your mind to adapt, to grow, and to turn disorder into real, lasting success. Finally, learn to value those moments of pause. Rest is not your enemy. It's the fuel you need to keep moving without burning out. Without pauses, progress burns too fast and becomes unsustainable. Rest helps you organize your energy, recharge your mind, and take firm steps toward a life no longer ruled by chaos, but guided by an order that comes from within you. Organizing your life isn't about destroying what you have or running from the familiar. It's about using that solid base, that well-managed comfort zone, as the firm ground from which you turn chaos into real, lasting success. It's not about running non-stop, but about knowing when to accelerate and when to stop to look back, appreciate the road you've traveled, and regain your strength. Are you ready to use your base camp to your advantage and start building the life you deserve? Before we go on, let me ask you something. How long have you been living with that silent mess that drains your energy and makes you feel out of control? I'm not talking about what others expect from you or the daily obligations, but about what's really happening inside you. If that feeling has been weighing you down, subscribe and become an exclusive member so we can keep turning that chaos into a clear path toward your success. And tell me in the comments, what part of your life have you left on pause for too long? Or simply write, Stoic at heart, because today, you start taking back control of your life. 2. Before you change, look inside yourself. I'm sure there have been times when you've wanted to change something in your life, but without the slightest idea why you do what you do. Here's a challenge. Close your eyes right now and ask yourself honestly, why do I always react the same way? What pushes me? What holds me back? That inward look, my friend, is the real starting point for turning the disorder in your daily life into a clear path toward your goals. Imagine your mind as an old house full of rooms you've never fully explored. Some doors are closed, others are open. But do you know what's inside? Because no, you can't just walk in and start redecorating without first going in. There could be broken furniture, messy corners, or a room full of cobwebs. If you want to turn that house into a place you actually want to be, you first need to look bravely and understand what's in each room. Well, my friend, reflection is exactly that. Opening those doors and facing whatever you find. Picture this. Maybe it sounds familiar. You're with a friend, someone close to you, and suddenly an argument starts. Maybe it was over something small, a misunderstanding, or simply the tone in which something was said. You react instantly with irritation or frustration, and in the middle of the argument you catch yourself thinking, why do I always get so upset over the same things? Why can't I keep my cool? Your friend says something like, it wasn't a big deal, I was just joking. But in your mind, the answer is a volcano that won't go out. Later that night, you're sitting alone in bed, maybe with your phone on silent and your mind calmer. You ask yourself, no filters, no excuses, what really made me blow up? What's driving me to react this way every time? Why does this argument affect me more than it should? That's when you start seeing repeating patterns, old stories you haven't resolved, that show up in every fight, in every tense moment. And that, my friend, is looking inside before trying to change what's outside. That's exactly what Ben Francis, the young founder of Gymshark, the sportswear brand known worldwide, had to do. When he started out, Ben was so focused on growing his company that he barely had time to think about anything else. He worked non-stop, always stressed and frustrated. His temper was on edge, and it deeply affected the work environment. He noticed that people kept their distance, there was tension, and the team wasn't functioning the way he expected. One afternoon, one of his closest collaborators told him something that hurt, but also hit him like a wake-up call. Ben, have you thought that maybe the problem isn't us, but you? When you're always angry and tense, it's hard for us to do our best. Those words made him stop even if he didn't like hearing them. But he decided to look inward, to ask himself honestly what was going on, what emotions were behind his behavior. He sat alone and started asking himself hard questions. Why do I let stress take over me? What's stopping me from being a better leader? How can I change the way I react to problems? It was an uncomfortable process because it meant facing his own weaknesses and recognizing that part of the chaos in his company was coming from within him. This is where Epictetus's philosophy makes perfect sense. It's not things that upset us, but our opinion about them. Ben realized he couldn't control everything happening around him, but he could control how he responded. That new perspective allowed him to reorganize his mind, lower the tension, and transform the way he led. Over time, Ben started changing small things. He learned to control his reactions, to listen more, and to appreciate his team. Little by little, the environment became more collaborative, ideas flowed, and the company grew. Not just in numbers, but in unity and strength. What once felt like an inner chaos that disorganized everything became the solid foundation that powered Gymshark's real and lasting success. I'm telling you this because, to turn your chaos into success, the first thing you need to do is look inside yourself. Try setting aside 5 minutes each day to sit and ask yourself honestly what drives you and what blocks you. It could be right before bed or first thing in the morning. The important thing is that it's your space without distractions, where you allow yourself to be truthful with yourself. You can also keep a quick journal. It doesn't have to be a book. Even a short note will do. Write down the intense emotions you feel during the day, the ones that impact or puzzle you the most. When you read them back later, you'll start to see patterns that until now have been hidden. It's like having a map of the inner chaos you didn't even know was there. Look inside yourself, my friend. Only then can you start putting your life in order with meaning and strength. True success is born when you connect with yourself, and from there begin to build the clear path you deserve to walk. 3. Forget the all or nothing mindset. How am I going to the gym today if I haven't gone all week? I'll just organize the closet during spring cleaning. If I can't do it perfectly, I'd rather not try. When I have more time, I'll get to it. I don't even know where to start, so I won't start at all. These excuses sound familiar, don't they? They're the mental traps we set for ourselves to avoid starting something, because we think that if it's not going to turn out flawlessly, we might as well not move a muscle. But you know what? That mentality doesn't just trap you. It slows you down and keeps you stuck. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you skipped doing something out of fear you wouldn't do it well? That all-or-nothing mindset paralyzes us and robs us of control over our own lives. Imagine you have a friend who wants to learn how to cook. The first time he tries to make a sauce, he oversalts it and exclaims, "This is a disaster, I'm no good at this." The second time, he burns the onions a bit and convinces himself that cooking just isn't for him. After a few failed attempts, he decides to give up and leave cooking to the experts. If you were there, you'd probably say something like, "Really, my friend? You're going to give up just because you added too much salt? What, do you expect to cook for royalty on your first day?" Forget the all-or-nothing approach. Here the game is about building stone by stone, step by step. It's not about preparing a perfect banquet from the first dish, but about learning how to chop onions without tears, to add flavor little by little, and, most importantly, not to burn the house down in the process. The real problem with thinking in black and white, in all or nothing, is that it freezes us. It forces us to wait for perfection, and while we wait, nothing changes. You don't take that first step and the mountain stays there, huge and immovable. But what if your friend took one small new step each day? Like chopping a different vegetable or trying a new spice, even if it made him nervous, that would slowly train his confidence. And that confidence, no matter how small, is what eventually turns kitchen chaos into dishes he never thought he could make. The same thing happens with your life and that inner disorder that sometimes feels impossible to organize. You don't need to jump from nothing to everything to turn your chaos into real, lasting success. All it takes is consistency and small steps that add up. That's why Marcus Aurelius left us this gem. The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing, because it requires firmness and perseverance. Think about it. If Marcus Aurelius could see someone trying to organize their inner chaos and hear that all-or-nothing voice in their head, he'd surely tell them that life is a constant fight, not won by one spectacular blow, but by the perseverance of showing up every day. And if he had a GPS in his hand today, he'd probably get just as frustrated as we do when it recalculates the route over and over, because we keep trying impossible shortcuts or waiting for the perfect moment to start. But what his words give us is a clear message. Wisdom is in accepting the real path, with patience, and without demanding perfection from the first minute. It's not speed or perfection that matters, but the steadiness and will to keep moving forward. So how can you start organizing your life so that your inner chaos stops being an enemy and becomes your ally in reaching real success? The key is to forget all or nothing. You don't have to tidy the whole room in one go or wait until you have hours of free time. Just take a ridiculously small step. One drawer, perfect. 5 minutes at your desk, great. And if you can't even manage that today, spend 1 minute thinking about the simplest thing you could do, and do it. Just like that. That tiny gesture, no matter how insignificant it seems, has more power than you think. It's the antidote to the paralysis created by perfectionism and the eternal wait for the right moment. Every mini step you take, no matter how small, pulls you away from chaos and closer to the order you're aiming for. And the best part, without pressure or guilt. Also, don't underestimate the power of celebrating those small victories. Finish cleaning that drawer? Perfect. Celebrate it like a trophy. Made the phone call you were avoiding? Give yourself a pat on the back. That inner encouragement is essential for keeping momentum when things feel heavy, or when external chaos hits hard. Celebrating your progress reminds you that you are moving forward, even when the big changes aren't visible yet. Now drop me a comment with a phrase like, "I'm moving forward," or "I'm consistent," and tell me why taking that small step every day can change your life. Because, my friend, real change doesn't come from perfection. It comes from the courage to keep going, stone by stone, with firmness and patience. 4. Act every day, even when you don't feel like it. Have you ever wondered why, despite your dreams and your determination, you still end up putting off what you know you should be doing? Why one day you're full of energy to move forward, and the next you can barely get out of bed without feeling resistance? How is it possible that the mountain of things you want to change is still sitting there, untouched, while your motivation collapses? The answer lies in understanding that motivation is not the real engine of change. Discipline is. And discipline, my friend, is built even when you don't feel like it. Think of discipline like a muscle. It doesn't get stronger only when you're at your best, when inspiration visits you, or when you're in the mood. No. The muscle of discipline grows because you keep training, even when it hurts, even when laziness and doubt try to make you stop. Every action you take without feeling like it is a brick you lay in building your inner strength. A silent yet solid step that brings you closer to mastering that inner chaos and turning it into a clear path toward your goals. When someone struggles with emotions and fluctuating willpower, Epictetus reminded us that we should not be slaves to our passions, but do what we must. What does that mean? That true freedom is not in waiting to feel ready or motivated to act, but in fulfilling the duty you have to yourself, without letting shifting moods control you. Epictetus knew that waiting for the perfect feeling is falling into the trap of inertia. Real strength is born when you choose to do what's right, not just what you feel like doing. Imagine you've been wanting to take that course you know will open doors for you, but every day new excuses appear. I'm not in the mood today. I'm tired. I'd rather rest, you tell yourself. In the end, that project stays on your wish list and success remains a distant dream. That excuse, as human as it is common, is exactly what keeps disorder alive in your life. Because chaos doesn't dissolve by waiting for the perfect motivation. It fades only by acting even when you don't feel like it, when everything in you is telling you to stop. This is where James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, makes a crucial point. Build systems that make action automatic, so you don't depend on the motivation that comes and goes. When you have a system, like a daily routine or reminders that guide you, you don't let your mood decide for you. You simply do what needs to be done, again and again, without debate. That's what turns the disorder of your days into steady progress. The foundation for transforming inner chaos into real, lasting success. So, are you ready to be stronger than your emotions and take the reins every day? Here's how to do it without depending on the motivation that slips away whenever it wants. First, create a daily routine that's impossible to avoid. For example, prepare all your materials the night before. Books open, notes organized, notebook and pen ready. That way, when you sit down, you don't waste time searching or setting things up. Action starts immediately, and excuses disappear. Second, use visual reminders or apps to track your habits. Picture a wall calendar or an app on your phone where you mark every day you keep your commitment. Seeing that chain of completed days will give you an extra push, because what isn't tracked or seen often gets forgotten or loses strength. Third, when motivation fails, and it will many times, keep phrases on hand that work like a trigger for action. Something simple yet powerful, like, do it, even if you don't feel like it, or one small step is better than no step. Recall these words and let them lead you when your mind tries to sabotage you with doubts or tiredness. My friend, consistent action is the engine that drives any deep change. You don't need big gestures or bursts of energy. What really counts is being able to take those steps, however small, every single day. That quiet perseverance is what eventually puts your mental disorder in order and transforms it into a clear path toward your goals. So next time laziness or lack of will tries to stop you, remember that every action, no matter how small, is a victory over the chaos trying to take over your life. And in that daily effort lies the true strength, the one that takes you from confusion to clarity, from disorder to lasting success. Keep your eyes on that path because, as Epictetus said, constant struggle and steadfastness are the art of living well. Discipline is your best ally for taking control, organizing your inner chaos, and building the life you deserve. 5. Do it no matter what. Don't wait to feel ready. Picture this. You're sitting in your office glancing at the clock for the 10th time in an hour. Your mind isn't on the work you have to deliver, but on that passion you've kept locked away for years. You think, I'm not ready to leave my job. Or, when I have more experience, that'll be the moment. You even set a date. A perfect day in the future when everything will fall into place and you'll feel ready to take the leap. But the truth is, that day never comes. And while you wait, You feed yourself 1,000 excuses not to move. This week I'm swamped. I need to save a bit more. When I feel more confident, I'll do it. Sound familiar? That perfect moment, that ideal alignment of circumstances and emotions you're waiting for, is actually a trap. Because while you wait, your life stays exactly the same, and the disorder you want to fix only grows. You get stuck, paralyzed by fear of making mistakes or not being prepared, and that fear steals your time, your energy, and your chance to move forward. Hate to break it to you, but that's the reason you haven't yet achieved what you've always wanted. But today that changes. I'm going to tell you how I started doing things even when I didn't have the will or the confidence, and how that truly changed my life. I remember hearing Tony Robbins say something that stuck with me. Don't wait to feel motivated to act. Motivation comes when you start, not before. That hit me straight in the mindset. From then on, I began applying that principle to everything. I wasn't ready to go to the dentist, but I booked the appointment. I wasn't ready to move, but I signed the lease. I wasn't ready to speak in public, but I enrolled in a course. Every step, small and full of doubt, pulled me out of mental chaos and moved me closer to the more ordered, purposeful life I wanted so badly. Think of no matter what action as a rudder in the middle of a storm. It doesn't matter if the sea is raging. You're the captain keeping the course steady. Don't wait for perfect conditions to set sail. Real life doesn't hand you ideal moments. It hands you opportunities to take control despite the noise and uncertainty. My friend Epictetus didn't say, "Do what you must," just to sound wise. That came from his constant struggle with passions and emotions that tried to dictate when he would act and when he wouldn't. He understood that real freedom lies in choosing the right action, even when your mood is absent. Imagine Epictetus facing his hard days, tired, doubtful, not ready, and still deciding to push forward. Instead of surrendering to how he felt, he anchored himself to duty, to what was necessary to keep moving. That's the root of Stoicism applied to the chaos of our daily lives, acting without depending on how we feel, because true power is in discipline, not in inspiration. So, my friend, when you find yourself hesitating because you don't feel ready to take that life-changing step, remember, the power is in doing, not in feeling. Are you ready? First, start with the smallest possible action. Spend 5 minutes on that task you've been postponing. If it's studying for a course, just open the book and read 1 page. If it's organizing your finances, quickly jot down your expenses. The point isn't the quantity, it's breaking the inertia. Second, accept that you'll make mistakes. Getting it wrong isn't just normal, it's necessary to learn and improve. Don't fear failure or an imperfect result, because every mistake is a stone that strengthens your path and helps turn your life into a clear, ordered road toward your goals. Third, when it's harder than ever to get going, picture this. Marcus Aurelius waking up on a Monday feeling unprepared, yawning, tempted to postpone everything, and telling himself, "Come on, the empire won't be run from bed." He'd surely encourage us to put laziness aside and take control, even when motivation is on strike. So here's the truth. Organizing your life and turning chaos into real success requires you to take action, without excuses and without waiting to feel ready. Because the magic isn't in feeling prepared, it's in taking that first firm, decisive step that sets everything else in motion. Are you ready to be the captain of your own life, even when the storm is raging? 6. Stop worrying about what you can't control. Let me tell you a story my grandfather used to share about a neighbor who owned a small farm. Every day, this man would take his wheelbarrow to carry his harvest to the market. But here's the thing. Along with the fresh potatoes he'd just dug up, he also piled on a bunch of things he didn't need. Rocks, dry branches, old junk he found lying around. He loaded it all into the wheelbarrow as if it were important. One day, his donkey started slowing down, struggling to move forward. The man complained, saying the road was too hard. But what he didn't realize was that all that useless weight was stopping him from getting the truly important stuff. Those fresh potatoes he had worked so hard for, to the market on time. A neighbor finally said to him, "Why are you carrying so many things that aren't useful? If you lighten the wheelbarrow, your donkey can carry what really matters and you'll get there faster." At first, the man ignored him, but little by little he started letting go of the extra weight. Soon his donkey was strong again, and the potatoes reached the market fresh and on time. This story, my friend, is just like that invisible backpack we carry in our minds, full of worries, doubts, and things we can't control. Those rocks and pieces of junk don't just fail to help us. They actually keep us from moving forward and organizing the chaos in our lives so we can reach our goals with strength. And you? How many things are you carrying that don't really belong to you? That endless traffic jam that makes you late and ruins your day. A message someone didn't reply to that puts you in a bad mood. Other people's opinions about you, which sometimes weigh heavier than your own thoughts. Or that anxiety about the future, about things that might happen, but never do. You probably know what it's like to stay awake at night thinking about something that already happened and can't be changed, or to feel nervous about something completely outside your control, like the weather or the economy. All of that is weight you're carrying for no reason. Without realizing it, those uncontrollable worries are stealing the energy you need for what truly matters. Your peace of mind, your focus, and ultimately, your ability to put your life in order and move toward real, lasting success. Let me remind you of something we often forget. Real power lies in learning to let go, to release those invisible burdens that stop you from moving forward and keep you trapped in mental chaos. Because if you keep dragging that weight, you'll never be free to build the clear path that leads to your goals. Now's the perfect moment to remember Epictetus's words. It's not things that disturb us, but our opinion about them. You see it, right? It's not external events that disrupt your peace. It's how you choose to interpret them. That shift in perspective is the key to organizing your inner chaos and focusing your energy on what truly depends on you. And you can start doing that today, if you really want to focus on organizing your life. First, try this simple yet powerful exercise. Take a sheet of paper and draw 2 circles, one inside the other. In the inner circle, write everything that's truly under your control, your actions, your decisions, your words. In the outer circle, write everything you can't change, the weather, other people's opinions, traffic, the past. Seeing it clearly is the first step toward letting go of what isn't yours to change and focusing on what is. Then, when anxiety or worry takes over because of something you can't control, stop and practice conscious breathing. Inhale deeply, counting to 4. Hold for a couple of seconds, and slowly exhale, counting to 6. Repeat this cycle several times. It's a simple but effective tool to lower stress and regain control in the middle of chaos. Also, create your own release mantra. It can be something short yet powerful, like, I accept what I can't change, and I act on what I can. Repeat it every time you notice yourself getting caught up in negative thoughts or useless worries. That mantra becomes your shield to protect your mind and keep it focused on what moves you forward. Organizing your life and taking control over the chaos around you isn't about changing the world. It's about changing how you see it. My friend, letting go of what's not in your hands gives you the energy and clarity you need to build a strong path toward your goals. So tell me, what rock are you going to drop today so you can walk lighter? Leave it in the comments or simply write, I let go and move forward. Because that's the first step to turning disorder into a success that lasts. 7. Be yourself. No masks, no costumes. Have you ever felt like you go through life wearing a mask, trying to be someone you're not just to be liked? I'm sure you have. Maybe at work, with friends, or on social media. You work hard to look perfect, to hide your weaknesses, to fit into the mold you think people expect of you. And at the end of the day, what happens? You feel drained, as if you've been carrying a backpack full of rocks that aren't yours. That invisible weight steals your energy and quietly feeds your inner chaos. Authenticity is like taking off that heavy armor that doesn't belong to you. Imagine all that effort to pretend being like carrying a sack of bricks when all you need is a light backpack to walk toward your goals. Breathing freely, showing your scars, and being real isn't weakness, it's your greatest strength. It's better to be a genuine tree with deep roots, even with a few broken branches, then a costume no one can hold up forever. Marcus Aurelius knew this firsthand. In the middle of both internal and external battles, he wrote, "Perform every action as though it were your last." He didn't just mean living with intensity. He meant being true to yourself in every moment, without masks or costumes. For him, an authentic life was the only life worth living, because pretending wastes energy for nothing. When you're genuine, you organize your mind and your life with less noise and less fighting against yourself. Let me give you a concrete example. Imagine you're at work, playing a character to be liked. Maybe you hide what you really think or feel, just to avoid judgment or to be accepted. At first, it might seem like it works, but little by little you notice that performance drains you. You get home tired, stressed, and with an empty feeling you can't explain. Now imagine you decide to change and start speaking honestly, expressing your ideas respectfully, without fear. Not everyone will agree with you, some might even pull away. But the atmosphere shifts, everything flows more easily, and you feel lighter, as if you dropped that backpack full of rocks. I went through that myself, my friend. I remember the first time I met my partner's family, that feeling of having to pretend to fit in, hiding my real tastes and opinions. I'd talk about things I didn't even care about just to avoid seeming different. After every gathering, I felt exhausted, as if I'd been wearing a mask that weighed a ton. But one day I got tired of the lie and decided to be authentic, without filters or masks. To my surprise, when I opened up, I found out my brother-in-law had a huge passion for the same kind of music I love. And you know what? That led us to plan a dream trip together and build a friendship that never would have happened if I had kept pretending. That's when I realized that organizing your life isn't just about managing tasks. It's also about managing how you relate to yourself and to others. So, my friend, next time you feel like you have to put on a mask to fit in, remember what Carl Rogers, a psychologist who deeply understood the power of authenticity, said. According to him, when you show yourself as you are, without filters or masks, you free yourself from the constant anxiety of trying to please everyone. Being authentic not only brings peace, but also helps you connect more deeply with yourself and others, freeing you from the weight of seeking external approval that only complicates your life and your path to success. To start, try being honest in small, everyday conversations. You don't have to reveal your whole life or overexpose yourself, but show something genuine. It could be an opinion, a feeling, or simply saying, "I'm not feeling great today," instead of pretending everything is fine. I challenge you to care a little less about what others think and focus more on what you truly feel and believe. Next, work on accepting your imperfections as part of your strength. No tree is perfect, and its broken branches are part of its beauty and history. When you accept who you are, with all the good and the hard parts, you build from a solid foundation that allows you to organize your inner chaos and move toward your goals without unnecessary weight. Lastly, if taking that step feels hard, create a small daily ritual. It could be writing one sentence in a journal about how you were authentic that day, or what you did to open up a little more. This practice will help you build the courage to be yourself, even when everything around you seems to demand a mask. In the end, my friend, organizing your life and turning the disorder in your thoughts into a clear path toward success isn't about pretending or putting on a show. It's about showing up exactly as you are. No disguises, no fear of being real. So, will you dare to be that authentic tree that grows strong and free even with scars? Or will you keep carrying that armor that only weighs you down and holds you back? The choice is yours, and only you can make it. 8. Your brain can change. Use it. I have no patience. I'll never be good at managing my time. I'm just messy. That won't change. I can't concentrate for more than 5 minutes. I don't know how to change my habits. I always end up the same. I'm sure you've told yourself something like that more than once. Those phrases loop in your head, stopping you before you even try to move forward. But what? Do you think your brain is a stone tower, rigid and immovable? Spoiler, it's not. Your brain is far more flexible than you imagine. It's not an old castle you can't chip away at. It's a living city, full of streets, roads, and plazas that you can remodel, open, or close at will. Do you know why your brain changes? Because of neuroplasticity. It's like having a city where you can build new streets, close others, or completely redesign neighborhoods. Every thought, every action, every decision you make is like opening a new avenue or tearing down an old wall. And the more you walk those new roads, the faster and easier they become. If you've ever felt stuck in negative thoughts or habits that hold you back, now you know. You're not doomed to them forever. You have the power to redraw the map of your mind. This isn't just a nice idea or a theory from a book. Let me tell you about a study from the University of California that will blow your mind. They took a group of people and had them meditate for just a few minutes a day, focusing on breathing and calming the mind. At first, nothing seemed different. But after some time, boom, the results were incredible. The researchers found that their brains actually changed physically. Yes, really. Gray matter density increased in areas related to attention, memory, and emotional control. And even better, the brain regions linked to stress and anxiety, the ones that make us lose control and sink into chaos, actually shrank. Impressive, right? Every time you sit to meditate or simply breathe deeply, you're not just relaxing, you're literally reshaping your brain. And this isn't only about meditation. Every new habit you learn, every small change you make in your day sends a clear message to your brain. This path is worth taking. So when you decide to put your life in order and focus on what matters, you're training your mind to sustain that order. Your brain adapts, and that inner change starts to turn the disorder in your daily life into a clear path toward your goals. Picture this, my friend. You've always told yourself, "I was never good at math," or "I can't handle complex numbers." Those phrases have been with you forever, like a broken record you can't switch off. Now imagine you've just opened your own business, and suddenly you have to handle numbers. No excuses. You sign up for a course, you find an instructor who knows how to motivate you, and little by little, day after day, you start mastering what once felt impossible. That wall you thought you could never climb becomes a road you walk with confidence. That person who was trapped by self-imposed limits, that's you now, taking control and turning mental chaos into real, lasting success. The key is to replace "I can't" with "I don't know yet." With every small step, you open new roads in your brain, building new connections that lead you straight to your goals. Your mind isn't rigid, it's a city in constant evolution. And every habit you practice with discipline is a brand new street taking you closer to the life you want to create. So, my friend, are you ready to use that incredible ability you already have? First, let's try an exercise. Think about a skill you've always wanted to learn but told yourself your brain just isn't made for it. Maybe it's learning to code, mastering a design app, improving your English to land better clients, or becoming a digital content creator. It doesn't matter what it is. Whatever you've thought isn't for me. Here's the truth, your brain is ready to adapt and grow. It just needs you to give it space and consistency. You don't need a giant leap. Start small. Practice 5 minutes of new vocabulary. Watch a short tutorial or try a basic coding exercise. Do it daily, and you'll start building the road that takes you straight to your goals. Managing your time and energy is what will turn that potential into real, lasting success. Also, try techniques like visualization. Close your eyes and picture your desired result in detail. If you want to be more organized, imagine your workspace clean and tidy, feeling calm and focused. That mental exercise trains your brain to seek that state in reality. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I can't," or "That's not for me," remember, that's just the beginning. It's an invitation to start shaping your reality with every action, no matter how small. The power is in your hands and in your mind. All you have to do is take that first step. Are you ready to take control and transform your life from the inside out? 9. Guard your time like a treasure. Imagine that every minute of your day is a gold coin. A real shiny, valuable coin you can choose to keep or spend. Would you leave it forgotten in a drawer, unused and collecting dust? Or would you invest it in something that truly brings you closer to your dreams and goals? I bet you've caught yourself more than once losing hours to meaningless distractions, letting your mental chaos grow and take over. That, my friend, is like letting those gold coins slip through your fingers without ever putting them to good use. Time is like a chest filled with precious gems. But what happens when you waste those gems on things that don't matter? The chest empties, and what you want drifts further away. Learning to protect that chest, to guard every jewel, is how you start organizing your life from the most valuable place you have, your time. Marcus Aurelius, a man who knew the value of time well, said something that still resonates today. Realize that time is a river flowing, and that each passing moment is gone forever. To him, life was like that river. If you don't guide it with intention, it sweeps you away, and you lose the chance to choose your course. Living well is learning to navigate that river with awareness, using every moment to grow instead of drifting into what doesn't matter. Can you imagine Seneca, with all his wisdom, watching someone glued to their phone, lost in an endless scroll? He'd probably smirk and think, if they spent as much time reflecting as they do on memes, they'd have written 10 more books by now. That irony is a reminder that protecting our time means protecting our mind and energy too. Constant distraction doesn't just steal minutes, it creates noise that blocks us from seeing the clear road to success. Think of someone who spends hours stuck in WhatsApp groups, endlessly watching stories, or checking notifications like they're lifelines. By the end of the day, they feel like they haven't moved an inch toward their personal project or toward putting their life in order. Now imagine that same person deciding to use just 2 of those hours to plan their week, organize priorities, or take one concrete step toward their goals. That small shift, my friend, is what can turn inner chaos into a defined, focused path toward what you want. So, do you want to start guarding your time like the treasure it is and transform your life? Here's how to do it. Simple, but intentional. First, run a time audit. For 1 or 2 days, write down exactly how you spend your minutes and hours. Be honest and detailed. You'll probably be surprised at how much time slips away on things that add nothing to your growth or mental clarity. That reality check is the first powerful step toward making conscious decisions. Second, prioritize what truly matters. Every day, pick the 3 tasks that move you closer to your goals, the ones that really count. Do them first, without letting anything or anyone interrupt. That small habit brings order to chaos and gives you the sense that you're truly moving forward. Third, block out time for deep work. Turn off notifications, put your phone away, and reserve chunks of your schedule just for focusing on your projects or organizing your life. At first, it may be hard, but over time, that discipline will give you a sense of control and satisfaction that fuels your motivation and keeps chaos at bay. My friend, guard your time like you would guard a treasure, because it truly is one. Every minute you spend with intention is a solid brick in building a life of purpose and order. The more you protect that chest full of gems, the clearer and stronger the road will be toward the real, lasting success you deserve. So tell me, what will you protect today to start turning that inner disorder into a life with meaning and focus? Share it in the comments. I want to know which decisions you're ready to make. And if you still feel overwhelmed by chaos and struggle to keep calm, don't miss the video right here next to this one. It will show you how to maintain self-confidence and master your mind, the key to organizing your life and turning that disorder into real success. Watch it now and start taking control from the inside out. 10. Face your fears and break your limits. Picture this. You're standing in front of a massive wall, so high and thick it seems to touch the sky. Even the air feels different when you look at it, as if that barrier were a sleeping giant guarding everything you want most. At your feet is everything familiar, your comfort zone, your habits, your excuses. On the other side of that wall are your biggest dreams, the ones that sometimes feel impossible, but deep down you know you deserve to reach. You feel small in front of that wall, and that's normal. It's natural to doubt, to feel afraid, even to want to turn back and take the easy road. But what if that wall is just an illusion created by your own doubts? What if those seemingly unbreakable walls are nothing more than shadows cast by your fears in disguise? Can you imagine what would happen if you broke through? If you left behind the invisible chains that limit you and dared to step toward what you've always wanted? That path, though uncertain, is the only one that will turn your inner chaos into lasting, solid success. Because your limits, my friend, only have the power you give them. This idea of defeating fear isn't cheap motivation. It's a Stoic principle that still speaks strongly today. Seneca said something worth repeating 1,000 times. The brave person is not the one who feels no fear, but the one who conquers it. Real courage isn't about ignoring what you feel. It's about mastering your mind so fear doesn't make your decisions. It's understanding that fear is an emotion, not an unmovable obstacle. Now, put yourself in this situation. You want to teach, to help others, to share what you know. But when you have to speak in public, you feel that lump in your throat, the cold sweat, and a fear that freezes you. You think, I could do it, but I'd better not. I don't want to mess it up. That inner voice is the giant wall blocking your way, and you know it. You know success is on the other side, that you can do it, but you're setting your own limit. And here's the problem. You believe you have to wait until the fear disappears. But as psychologist Susan Jeffers said, it's not about eliminating fear, because that almost never happens. It's about learning to move forward despite it. Fear is like that annoying travel companion who follows you everywhere. You don't have to fight him, you just have to keep walking firmly while he tags along. If you change the way you think about fear, you stop seeing it as an enemy and start seeing it as a signal you're doing something important. So, what can you do? Start by noticing those negative voices you repeat to yourself. I can't do it. I'm going to fail. Or, this isn't for me. When you hear them, challenge them. Replace them with thoughts that empower you, like I can try and learn along the way. Letting go of that mental baggage brings huge relief, like taking off a heavy backpack you never needed to carry. Also, be kind to yourself. You don't have to punish yourself for feeling afraid or making mistakes. Allow yourself to fail, to grow, and to keep going. Nobody is born knowing everything, and every small step, no matter how insignificant it seems, brings you closer to that organized, meaningful life you want to build. When you treat yourself with compassion instead of criticism, you create space to move forward without the inner noise that only adds chaos. The real secret is to move, even when fear makes you doubt. Don't wait to feel ready or for the insecurity to vanish. Take small, manageable steps. Practice that talk in front of a mirror, record a short video, or simply tell a friend what you want to achieve. Each small win is a brick that tears down that wall holding you back. And as you keep moving forward, even little by little, you'll be amazed at how what once seemed impossible becomes your new normal. My friend, the next time fear knocks on your door and tells you to wait, that it's not your time, remember that wall only you can break. Organizing your life and turning your inner chaos into lasting success starts with breaking the invisible chains you've built yourself. Will you let fear decide for you, or will you take the reins and build your own road? The choice is always yours. 11. Protect your mind from noise and negativity. Picture this, it's Monday morning. You wake up ready to take on the world, with that spark of energy we all wish we could feel every day. But before you even get out of bed, you've already got your phone in your hand. A friend has sent a message complaining about life. The news notifications are full of alarming headlines that seem to get worse every day. Strangers' opinions fill your feed, and a flood of social media updates leaves you comparing yourself and feeling like you're not enough. Your mind, my friend, is already more crowded than the subway at rush hour. Without realizing it, you've started your day in a negative loop that steals your focus, your peace, and your motivation. I'll tell you what used to happen to me. I'd try to change. I'd promise myself that this time I'd start my day calm and focused. But the reality was different. The moment I opened my eyes, there was my phone, and with it, the noise, the doubts, and the anxiety slipping in like a dark shadow. One day, while searching for answers, I came across Dr. Alok Kanogia. I heard him say, when your brain wakes up with artificial dopamine, like the kind you get from your phone, it enters a state of exhaustion that drains your energy before you even start. That hit me hard. I realized that constant information overload wasn't just useless, it was weakening me. I couldn't focus, couldn't feel good, couldn't organize anything. So, my friend, it's time to get organized and protect the mind that powers everything you want to build. And if anyone understood this, it was Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He knew that mental strength isn't about having more information or being busier. It's about carefully choosing what you give your attention to, and more importantly, what you don't. The ability to focus, to filter out the noise, is what separates chaos from clarity, disorder from organization. I know, you're probably thinking, sure, in Marcus Aurelius' time this was easier. No phones, no social media. True, but let's not get stuck in history. Here's how you can put this into practice today to turn your chaos into success. First, create device-free zones in your home. Think about how much your phone has invaded every space. Start simple, no phone at the table during meals, and definitely no phone in the bedroom before sleep. These small tech-free territories become sanctuaries for your mind, spaces where noise and distraction can't reach you. Without screens, your brain starts to breathe and recharge for what really matters. Second, be intentional about the content you consume. You don't have to cut everything, but you must be selective. Negative news? Outside toxic comments on social media? Don't even read them. Don't give them your energy. Comparing yourself to others until you feel worse? Stop it now. What should you do instead? Fill that space with things that lift you up, inspire you, and add real value. Look for podcasts, channels, or books that help you organize your life, learn new skills, or maintain a positive mindset. It's like putting a filter on your mind so it doesn't fill up with junk that only feeds your inner chaos. Third, set specific times to check emails or social media and treat them like important appointments with yourself. Don't let your phone run your day, run it yourself. For example, allow yourself just 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the afternoon to check those things, nothing more. Outside of those windows, keep your phone on silent or switched off. This control keeps interruptions from pulling you out of focus and lets you organize your time and energy to build the success you're aiming for. Think of your mind as a garden. If you let it fill up with weeds, it will never bloom. But if you care for it, watering it with positive thoughts and conscious attention, you can cultivate the peace and clarity you need to build an organized, meaningful life. Now it's your turn. Tell me in the comments, what tricks or habits do you use to protect your time and your mind? What distraction-free zones are you going to create starting today so your life moves toward a clear, focused path to success? Let's learn from each other and support one another on this journey. And if you think you've already got everything under control, hold on, because what's coming next is like pressing the ninja mode button for your mind. Without it, any little distraction can knock you straight back into chaos. Get ready. This final point is the master trick to turn your chaos into the success you've been looking for. 12. You become what you repeat to yourself. Have you ever stopped to think about the conversation you have with yourself every day? Do you notice how you talk to yourself when something goes wrong? Or when you think about your goals and abilities? Do you tell yourself things like, "I'm not capable, this will never change," or "I messed up again"? And what happens when you repeat that over and over? You already know the answer. Your mind, like an echo, sends back exactly what you give it. Seneca reflected a lot on time and its value, but that reflection leads us to something even more powerful. It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. How we use that time, especially the way we invest it in thoughts and habits, shapes the character we build and, with it, the order or chaos that rules our life. Every word you repeat to yourself, every idea you feed, is shaping the person you are and the path you walk. Picture Marcus Aurelius sitting with his scroll, reviewing his mental journal. Every negative thought that kept repeating itself would be, for him, like spam mail, unwanted and useless. Without hesitation, he'd cross it out and throw it away. He knew that what you allow into your mind has real power. This isn't just ancient philosophy, it's a reminder to guard your inner dialogue, because it can either sink you or push you forward. Now imagine this. You're in the middle of a tough week full of tasks and problems, and you keep repeating, "This is pointless. I'm going to fail. I can't handle all this." That becomes a snowball that not only paralyzes you but throws your entire day into disorder. Instead of moving forward, you sink deeper into chaos. Now picture changing that script for a moment, telling yourself, "I'll try, one step at a time. I can learn from this. Every day is an opportunity to improve." That difference, my friend, is what starts to organize your life and turn disorder into a clear path toward your goals. So, what do you want to repeat to yourself today? Because what you choose to feed your mind has the power to build or destroy. I invite you to choose thoughts that walk with you and push you forward, not the ones that hold you back or drown you in doubt. First, and most important, replace constant doubt and criticism with affirmations that lift you up. This isn't about ignoring reality, but focusing on what you can do. For example, instead of thinking, "I can't handle this," say, "I'm learning, one step at a time." Those small changes in the way you talk to yourself work wonders for your motivation and mental clarity. Second, visualize the life you want. Close your eyes and picture in detail the future you desire. Your space neat and organized, your projects moving forward, your mind calm. Picture yourself waking up early, at ease, with a clear list of priorities. Imagine finishing an important task and feeling that satisfaction of progress. Then start acting as if you were already there. If you see yourself with a clean, organized desk, take a few minutes today to tidy even just one corner. If you picture yourself with a productive routine, spend 5 minutes planning your day, exactly as that ideal version of yourself would. This technique not only inspires you, but also trains your brain to make choices that bring you closer to that reality. And be as patient and encouraging with yourself as you would be with a friend you want to support. Don't demand perfection or punish yourself for mistakes. Instead, recognize each small step forward and give yourself credit for keeping at it. Patience with yourself is key to sustaining the order and mental peace you're after. My friend, organizing your life and turning chaos into success is like sculpting your identity with every thought and repeated action. Every word you say to yourself, every habit you nurture, is building the version of you that can keep your life in order and reach your goals. So here's my question for you. Think about it and share it in the comments. What mold are you creating today with the things you repeat to yourself? Taking the reins of your life, organizing your inner chaos, and building a path toward real success is a daily process that requires discipline and determination. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about using every moment to set your priorities straight, push past your limits, and move forward with clarity toward your goals. Every small effort you repeat is a brick that strengthens your future and brings you closer to the life you truly want. If you've made it this far, write in the comments, "I organize my life and move toward success." That way, I'll know who the true Stoic warriors are, the ones who made it all the way to the end. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button so you don't miss what's coming next. Also, check the description box. We've left some resources there to help you dive deeper into Stoic teachings. Our goal is to bring you as much value as possible. And if at any point you feel like supporting us so we can keep creating this kind of content, you'll find how to do that in the pinned comment. Now, I invite you to explore the playlist on screen. It's designed to help you face life with greater wisdom and confidence. Click it, and let's keep growing together. Until the next talk, take care and keep embracing your inner Stoic.